Two of Wisconsin high schools football's biggest rivals clash once again, this time for the 77th meeting and for the famous China Bowl Trophy. The rivalry comes back to Omro High School, and we welcome you to Week 2 of the high school football season. The defending state champs have withheld the hardware for the past 7 years. In 2026, the home team tonight is as hungry as ever, trying to rebuild after 5 straight seasons below 500. It's longtime rivals, the Winneconne Wolves and the Omro Foxes. We welcome you from the first time here at Omro High School. I'm Miles Detroit alongside Gunnard Sippert for our first football call together here with Zaleski Sports, as well as a great crew on hand here from Omro, Wisconsin. Well, Gunnard, not very familiar with this China Bowl Trophy rivalry until I did my research this week and, kind of did some outside research and gained some knowledge. But the things I do know, despite Winneconne winning these last 6 matchups, they lead the overall series 43-32 and 1 tie. We'll throughout the broadcast we'll talk about all sorts of things that makes this rivalry really special compared to others in the state of Wisconsin. But what are the things for fans like myself who aren't familiar with this rivalry should they know before this game here tonight?
Well, as you said, Miles, it's really a tale of the 2 decades. Whereas the 2020s have been dominated by the Wolves. They've won all 5 matchups. The teams did not play in 2020 due to COVID altering the seasons. Omro played in the spring of 2021, while Winneconne played in the fall. The 2020s dominated by the Wolves, but the 2010s were all about the Foxes. 2010 through 2019, Omro making the playoffs every year, and that includes 7 straight wins in the China Bowl game from 2011 through 2018, as well as an additional win in the 2015 playoffs. Omro holds the postseason bragging rights. Going back over a 20-year period, it looks a little bit more even. It balances out. Winneconne has won the last 6, Omro the 7 before that. The previous 20 meetings, Winneconne has taken 11 of those, but if you include the playoffs, that does include the playoffs. So regular season, the last 20, it has been 12 of the past 20 regular season games. 13 of the past 23 games have gone to the Wolves.
And the research I've kind of done is there's so many sorts of things that bring this rivalry together. It brings the community together, brings the school together. So with the school, they initially it was some teachers in the 40s that were attending an in-service and they bought the bulls, but now the Winneconne shop classes make the bulls. And after a few years, once the bull gets filled with, the scores and years, then there's a take-all game, and then the winner of that take-all game gets that bull, and then a new bull is cast the next year. And then there's also, colors that come into action, like next year these colors will be reversed for each team, so you'll see Winneconne in the white and their fans supporting the white, and then the Omro in maroon, and obviously, switching locations next year as well. But there have been 1-point games. There have been snowstorms that I listened to old head coach Dave Wellhofer for the Foxes. There have been games that kept other teams out of playoffs. There's crosstown family ties because they're so close. So a lot of really neat stuff that we'll get to dive into here tonight. But first, we will step aside and take a break. Preview the teams when we get back. Wolves, Foxes, one of the best in Wisconsin. More pregame when we come back. You're listening to Zaleski Sports, powered by Bear Performance Marketing.
I actually described Fox Valley Tech as a home away from home.
It was very comforting that it was a class size of 20 people or less.
Cost is a huge factor. When I look at Fox Valley Technical College, you're not spending that much for a degree.
If I was 30 when I went back to school here, I have had no regrets.
I think the hands-on training really sets us apart.
They will do anything to make sure that you succeed. You are going to get the education that you came for.
Let's meet the teams here for tonight's 77th annual China Bowl Trophy matchup here from Omro High School. First, the visiting Winneconne Wolves coming off a thriller of a game. Gunnard, I wish you were there last week. It was a heck of a way to open the high school season, but you were busy covering a Kakana blowout in week 1. But anyways, this to recap you and their game, they opened with just a thrilling victory, edging out the Wrightstown Tigers by a score of 21-20. They were down 14-0 at the half, shut out, and I mentioned on the broadcast, I think that was the first time they were shut out in the first half since 2 years ago, because obviously last season they likely were not. But down 14-0 at the half, they scored 21 in the second half to win, and the play of the game was their defense coming up big. The play of the game for their defense, stuffing them on a 4th and goal inside the 1 to win the game, and then they sneak out on offense, and the clock runs down to 0. A Week 1 thriller, and Winneconne wins their 15th straight last week. Players making a huge difference in that game for the Wolves. I think Henry Chase, honestly, Ryan Quigley was our player of the game, but Henry Chase did such a great job. You have to fill the shoes of Brody Schaefer, Iowa Division I Iowa commit. He was 11 for 16 in the air, 152 yards, 13.8 yards per completion. 3 touchdowns, obviously, to Ryan Quigley, who had 89 yards. So there was a lot of bright stuff to look at for the Wolves that they hope to carry into tonight. What other sorts of things you want to see? Maybe from the defense tonight. They got that big play at the end, but that was really, other than that big play at the end, they didn't have too many last week. What do you look for tonight?
Well, I imagine coming off the state championship, so much pressure for Winneconne to get it out, to probably expecting to have another resounding opening to the season. Last year in the second game against Omro, they were able to run away with it. Their first game of last season, a little bit closer, I believe, against Little Chute, the team they ended up beating in the state championship, 14-6 in that one. So Winneconne coming off that state championship, all the pressure's on you, the target's on your back, and through the first 24 minutes of the game at the half, they're down 14-0, eventually got down 20-7. But then in that fourth quarter, like you said, holding the Wrightstown Tigers scoreless, giving your offense the chance to make that comeback and win by 1. I think the defense really showed their mettle in that Week 1 victory. And against a different style of Omro team here, a team coming off a loss in their first game, as we're going to get to, Omro is going to be hungry to get out early here, and Winneconne is going to have to improve upon last week's first half where they allowed 2 scores to the Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely. Get off to a faster start out for the Wolves today. And you said it, getting into Omro here, they lost last week in a slim game, 13-20 against Green Bay West at their place. This is their home opener here in Week 2. And they had a rough start as well, kind of to their game as well. You know, they started quarterback Dimitri Penza, and he was 3 for 14, finished the game with 4 picks. A minus 27.3 quarterback rating, just not a great start for him, the quarterback. But then they go with Parker Kazabuski, and that is likely who we're going to see today start for them, would be my guess. He would finish 3 for 7, 55 yards, 18.3 yards per completion. So there were some good pieces as well. Jason Lakash for 8 carries for 23 yards. So they got to string together some nice things here to take on a really good Winneconne team. What sorts of things do they have to do to limit? Let's talk about the offense, on the other hand, for the Wolves, who had a solid outing in that second half last week.
Yeah, the offense for the Wolves really figuring it out at half last week. And it might not feel like it because in most years, Winneconne will be a D4 team, but last week, Omro playing Green Bay West, a program that has struggled, but a much larger school, Division III. Well, now Winneconne, due to the tournament performance factor, another D3 opponent here for Omro in the non-conference, which going into the playoffs, that playoff matrix, it doesn't hurt you so much if you lose to a bigger school, but if you can notch a victory, that would certainly help Omro when it comes towards the playoffs, even if the flyaway schedule coming up doesn't go their way. And in terms of containing that Winneconne offense, all eyes are going to be on Ryan Quigley. Like you said, your player of the game last week, 3 touchdown catches. He was a first-team all-conference receiver. I mean, for this Winneconne team, so many talented seniors a year ago. You had 11 different all-conference players moving on, including 7 different first-teamers, Brody Schaefer and Hudson Samolinski on both sides of the ball. So your top 2 players, along with a really talented senior class, gone. But Ryan Quigley stepping up last week, as well as the new quarterback Chase and the new running back Maffey.
Yeah, absolutely. Just some great pieces, like you said, that have to fill those shoes that really stepped up last week. I mean, despite the slow start, you can expect from any team, any program, you got a completely new look team out there all across the state of Wisconsin for all different sporting events, regardless of football, but They got things together. They made some adjustments that I talked with head coach Ryan Krings after the game, what they saw in the first half, and they adjusted to at the break. And they put together, obviously, a really good second half to end up winning that game. 21 points, good defensive statement at the end here, but it was just a great a great game here for Winneconne.
And just looking at Omro, looking at the box score, was able to see limited highlights. Obviously, like you said, the starting quarterback Penn's a little bit of struggles, but then once Kosobuski stepped from wide receiver to quarterback, he was one of their leading receivers last year. I think the offense sort of settled in. It was tied at the half last week, 7-7, and Omro just getting outscored in the half, 13-6 in the second half. They were able to take back a pick for a touchdown, so the offense only scoring 7 points. And that Winneconne defense that made that goal line stand against Wrightstown is not going to provide any easier of a test to Omro than Green Bay West did. Winneconne might be the smallest school in Division III, but they're certainly not going to play like it.
We will take off the headsets here from Omro High School, send it down to our public address announcer, Dan.
Good evening and welcome to Omro High School for tonight's 77th annual China Bowl game between the visiting Winneconne Wolves and your Omro Foxes. At this time, those who are able, please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem by the Omro High School Pep Band under the direction of Austin Rowland. Now we'll start line for your Omro Foxes. They also like to be introduced as a team and the head coach, Eric Dahl. Omro High School, Winneconne High School, and WIAA require good sportsmanship and education to score high marks. Attendance at interscholastic activities is a privilege with the expectation to exhibit positive and respectful behavior.
Mutual of Wausau Insurance, protecting homes, farms, and businesses since 1875. Visit mutualofwausau.com to find an agent near you. 77th annual meeting between these two, the Winneconne Wolves and the Omro Foxes, for the famous China Bowl Trophy, one of Wisconsin high school football's best rivalries here in the state. Just two great teams headed into action here today. The Wolves coming off a thrilling Week 1 victory, beating the Wrightstown Tigers 21-20, including a 4th and 1 stop from the 1-yard line to win them the game last week. Omro losing to Green Bay West 20-13 last week, starting the season 0-1, looking for a rebound win here against the defending state champions. Miles Detroit, Gunnard Sippert on the call here tonight for what should be an incredible game. You're going to see some physicality. No matter how great these teams come into action, you know, how physical crosstown rivals, you know, I talked about in the pregame, family ties all around the stadium here tonight.
Omro to kick off here, and should be noted, colors on your scoreboard are the colors of the jerseys.
Yep.
Omro will be wearing the maroon, Winneconne in white, even though it's the Omro faithful on the near side bleachers with the whiteout T-shirts, and the Winneconne on the far side bleachers you see wearing the blackout shirts.
So Drew Lenz and Mason Matthew, the two backs, back to receive for the Wolves. Omro in the maroon will kick this thing away. Week 2 of the high school football season underway. This one kicked to the far side is going to look to roll out of bounds, and we're going to have an opening flag here from our far side official.
And they'll start on the 40-yard line.
Yeah, and this is not a bad start here for the Wolves. They'll get this thing in beautiful positioning, and it'll bring out the Wolves offense led by quarterback sophomore, 5'11", 164 pounds, Henry Chase, who we talked about in the pregame, having to fill the shoes of Brody Schaefer. Put together a really solid Week 1 effort, 11 for 16 in the pass game. What'd you like from him, Gunnar?
Well, he certainly knows who to throw it to. He knows to go to his number one, first-team all-conference returning receiver in the Bay Conference, Ryan Quigley, 6 receptions for 89 yards and 3 scores, including a 29-yard touchdown.
So ball will be at the 35, rather.
Yeah, pardon me, I said the 40. I'm used to the NFL penalty.
Right. Yeah, that's why I went along with you. So 35 here in high school, and it will break out here for the Wolves offense. Chase will start from the gun, bring a man in motion to the far side. That's Matthew. Give it to the other back of Lenz up the middle. 23 on the carry. Camden Plotz. And he was the one, also the back, 4 carries for 9 yards last week. But Plotz was a big man also in the production game last week for Winneconne. Just a gain of 1 on the play. It'll be a 2nd and 9 after the 1-yard carry from the junior Plotz. It's Plotz and Matthew behind Chase under center. Hands it to Matthew on the far side. Just a little gain once again of about 1. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here for the Wolves to start it. It'll be a 3rd and 8.
And you hear the Omro faithful loving this start, able to contain this ground game. And they're going to make Chase likely throw here on 3rd and long.
Yeah, 28 carries for 102 yards as a team for the Wolves last year. 4th in the Bay, 4 yards.
3rd and 7 here, according to the scoreboard.
So we had a gain of 2 here. Now 3rd and 7. Chase is going to throw, looking for the near side here to Quigley. And he's got him on the slant route. Quigley into the secondary, brought down inside the 50. And the Wolves will move the chains for the first time tonight.
And into Omro Fox's territory. A great start for the Omro defense on the run game, but Chase making the throw that he needed to there, finding Quigley, his favorite target.
Gain of 15 for Ryan Quigley. 3 touchdowns last week. 29 yards was his longest. And that one goes for 15 there on his first reception. Chase from the gun with Matthew to his right. He gives it to and fakes it to Matthew. Quarterback on the run on the far side. Still going. Chase with a heck of a run. Still on his feet. Plowing through defenders. Flag at about the 40-yard line.
Could go either way there. Might be a hold. Might be a hold on Winneconne.
And right now it'd be a run of 13, and it will be on the Foxes. So what looks like a 13-yard run for Henry Chase. He had 28 yards on the ground last week for 8 carries. Coming up on 10 minutes to play here. Wolves on the move. So ball at the 29-yard line here of the Foxes.
Quigley out by himself at the bottom of the screen.
Gives it to Plotz up the middle, trying to find something, but it's just met a bunch of times by a bunch of Fox defenders. But he's got a gain of about 4, looks like.
Omro doing a nice job of containing the inside running game. That Chase run, he really had to make a broken play into a scamper around the outside, trying to give it to Plotz or Matthew inside. Hasn't worked so far.
Gain of 3 for Plotz, so it's a 2nd and 7 from the 26. 9.5 to go in the first quarter. Send a man in motion on the far side. It's Kacher. They give it to Kacher on the jet sweep. Spinning off bodies and brought down inside the 20. Flag flies from the near side official. Maybe a horse collar tackle.
Looks like it's going to be
holding.
just short of the first down, but if that's the penalty, Winneconne will move the chains on a laundry marker again.
Oh, so holding on the Wolves instead. So it was holding, but not on the Foxes. So it'll bring back 10 yards. Spot of the foul.
Yep, play negated there. Good looking run for Kacher on his first touch, but all for nothing in the record books.
Kacher last week finishing no stats on the ground, but 2 receptions for 57 yards. So very efficient last week in the Week 1 win. As there you see him move to the far side.
2nd and 10 here. Spot of the foul was downfield, so they don't lose too much yardage.
Yeah. Just bring it back here. Just a waste of a down. 2nd and 10. 3 men switch to the far side, including Quigley now with Kacher. Chase roams out to his right. Looking for the flip to the far side. He's got Quigley and is trucked on the far side, but he's got enough for the first down. Ryan Quigley already efficient on the first drive, and the Wolves move the chains.
And for a first-year quarterback like Chase, what an advantage, what a boon having a first-team receiver all-conference last year. Of course, Winneconne able to get it done on the ground and the air last year, but when Brody Schaefer wasn't able to run it, who was he looking to downfield? It was the junior last year, Quigley, but now back for his senior season.
Now at the 15-yard line here, 1st and 10 for the Wolves. Matthew and Plotz to the left of Chase. They give it to number 7, Lenz. Lenz on the near side. The tackling has been there, and the Foxes have done a good job of containing this run game so far with Lenz, Plotz, and Matthew. Just a 5-yard gain for the sophomore Lenz. That'll bring up a 2nd and 5 from the 10-yard line. Wolves obviously now into the red zone.
Good to see Drew Lenz here. I've never seen him play on the gridiron. Heck of a basketball player in his freshman season for the Winneconne boys basketball team and Coach Flanagan.
Chase will go under center here with Plotz and Matthew behind him. Coming up on 7.5 to go. They flip it to number 23, Plotz. And it's just met at the far side. Looks like a no gain on the play.
Might even be a tackle for loss there.
Loss of 1 there for the carry for Plotz. And it'll be a 3rd and 6 now from the 11.
So interesting situation here for Coach Krings and Coach Riff. 3rd and 6 from the 11. You could have maybe took a shot at the end zone there on 2nd. Here on 3rd down, you need to get to the 5. Probably just thinking about converting, but maybe you catch the Omro defense sleeping.
Yeah, I think you continue with the pass game here. You've gotten Quigley, you've gotten Kacher, and I think you're going to have to go with that here on a 3rd and 6.
A bunch of 4 on the left side.
Near side here. Chase is just going to keep it himself and doesn't get much. Just short of the sticks.
And now an even more interesting decision. All-conference kicker from a year ago, Austin Dorn.
Yeah.
Just a junior. But they're going to go for it here on 4th and 3.
So 4th and 3. Nearly jumped there, one of the defensive linemen for Omro.
Maybe just trying to draw him off sides,
Possibly.
a la the NFL. When you've got a kicker, first-team all-conference, this is reasonable for him.
Right. They do it. They snap it to Chase. Chase going long. He's got Quigley on the near side. A lot of physicality. No call. Incomplete. Turnover on downs for the opening drive for Winneconne. And a defensive statement for the Foxes.
Would have been a 26-yard field goal. They opt to go for the early touchdown. Didn't have to get into the end zone there. Just needed the 5-yard line. Could have gone on the ground again. They opt for the shot at the end zone, and good stop for the Foxes. They had some nice defensive plays there and able to string a couple together to force the turnover.
I like that non-call too. You know, there was a lot of grabbing, but I think Quigley kind of initiated the contact, so I think that's what made the official decide no flag call there. But there was a lot of contact But I do love the decision there with the no non-call on the defensive PI.
Number 6, the quarterback, yep.
So as we said in the Kasabuski in the pregame, we'll start it here for the Foxes. And giving it on the ground to one of his backs there on the far side.
62
Of number 7, Jason Laclash, who is kind of your most efficient on the ground. 8 carries for 23 yards last week against Green Bay West.
Yeah, Jason, one of the few. Oh, pardon me. I've got Jack Lakash on the returning all-conference players.
Right. Yeah, his brother. They hand it once again to Jason Lakash.
Yeah, Jason.
Number 7, Jason LaCoche on the carry.
And picks up about 2 yards.
43.
Maybe.
Tackled by number 43, Dual. We'll bring up 3rd and 6 for the Fox.
3rd and 6 after the gain of 3.
Definitely third and manageable here, but
Yeah.
we'll likely see Kasabuski tested through the air. Like you said, 3 for 6 a week ago when he came in relief of the starting quarterback, Dinza.
So they've gone on the ground twice with Lakash. We'll see what Kasabuski does here on 3rd and 6. Under center. Heavy pressured. Roams one in the air. Nearly intercepted. 3 Winneconne Wolves were there, but drops right in front of number 10, Ralph King. I believe that was in the middle.
Great pressure from the Wolves D-line there. There was no chance for Kasabuski to let anything develop. And it looks like we're going to see the punt unit on for the Foxes.
And on that pressure was number 20, I believe, Carson White. With that heavy pressure last week, 10 total tackles, 5 solo, and what tackle for loss. Nearly had one there with the sack. And punting this thing away will be Ralph King. He was second team defense all conference in the flyway last year, and a big hit on the far side.
And it should be said, second team as a punter. King had a very good year, and that was a decent kick, but a good return.
Yeah, King last year, he's got some big punting stats. 5 punts. That was his 6th of the season. 214 yards before that one. 42.8 yards of punt. Leading D5 in the top 5 of D5 because of just how many times they had to punt last week.
Yeah, they had trouble with that Green Bay West team on the road, a bigger school, and an improved program for the Wildcats.
4.5 to go here in the first quarter of action. 0-0 our score from Omro High School. Number 24, Matthew will get the carry for just a gain of 1. This ground game has really been shut down here in these 2 drives to start it, Gunnar.
Yeah, biggest gain on the ground has been the design quarterback run for Chase, 2nd and 9 coming up here. And last week, Winneconne was able to run the ball pretty well. You had 13 carries for 42 yards for Matthew, so about 3 yards a carry. And then Chase had 8 carries for 28 yards, but they got what they needed to, and the passing game was pretty efficient.
So here's a 2nd and 9 from the Foxes 30. Chase from the gun, gives it to Matthew up the gut. Matthew with a solid run. Needed one of those kind of just to get the confidence, the energy up. Kazabuski in on it. The tackle for the Foxes.
As well as Dylan Lakash.
Yep.
No returning first-team all-conference players for this Foxes team. A couple of second-teamers on defense. Devin Allison, a defensive lineman, and graduating Nick Steffen, a second-team all-conference D-back.
Devin Allison, second team in the offense and defense from the flyway last year. Here's a 3rd and 3 for the Wolves offense. Chase from the gun with Matthew to his right. Fake it to Matthew here on the quarterback sneak. And gets loose. Chase on the far side's got enough for the first down and more. Into the secondary he goes and does it himself to get the first down for Winneconne.
Yeah, they had him in the backfield there, but Chase able to get out of a shoestring tackle and picking up the first on the ground.
A gain of 10, I believe, for Chase. Carter Luxon on the tackle. It's 6 total tackles last week. The loss to Green Bay West. Here's a 1st and 10 from the 14. Chase under center. Gives it to Matthey. Again, Matthey just met, but a solid gain there of 3 yards. It'll be a 2nd and 7 coming up with 2:45 to go in the first quarter.
Flying by here.
Yeah, already, yeah. No team using their timeouts.
And nothing on the scoreboard yet, but certainly Winneconne with the majority of possession and the majority of the yardage. Nothing to show for it, though. Omro defense held tall, stood tall last time. See if they can do it again here.
It's been a lot of ground game to start this one as well. Chase under center. Keeper here, he roams out to the far side. He's got a man on the far side. Number 43, who is in for the touchdown. The Wolves, Ethan Duell. Was he short? He was in. It looked like he was short of the goal line at first. Ethan Duell, the senior, with his first touchdown, and Wolves go up 6-0.
Dorn on for the extra point here. He was perfect, 3 for 3, and every one of them mattered last week in that 1-point victory.
No kidding.
10 is holding, 1 is kicking.
Number 10 is still on the play.
Kick up for the Wolves is good.
Good looking kick there. I believe I called him Austin earlier. Andrew Dorn through the uprights, and having a good kicker, that can be quite the advantage here at the high school level. We were talking about the Wrightstown game earlier. Wrightstown without a kicker last week on the 4th and 1 situation. A field goal would have won it.
Yeah, right. How essential is that in just the game of high school in general? I mean, just having to have that kicker. And Andrew Dorn, for some reason I didn't have him on my roster, but like you said, 3 for 3 extra points as there he knocks down his 4th of the season, and Wolves lead 7-0.
Yeah, Andrew yet to attempt a field goal this year, but last year, pardon me, I thought I had his stats for last. There we are. He was 1 for 1 in last year's game against Omro. Made a 30-yard field goal back in Winneconne. We should mention last year's matchup, 52-6 victory for Winneconne, their 2nd game of their undefeated state championship Division 4 season, and that moves the tournament performance factor. They made it to the state semifinals the year before, won it last year, so now Winneconne up in D3, Omro D5.
Yeah. That was 14 yards to Ethan Duell?
Believe it was from the 14, yeah. Duell a returning all-conference, but on the defensive side, honorable mention inside linebacker, so getting involved on the offensive side here this season a little bit more.
Chase bags his 4th passing touchdown of the season, 3 to Quigley last week, and now the first to Ethan Duell. Honorable mention from the defense last year. Now here's a big boot from Dorn. That's going to
go out of bounds.
Out of bounds yet again. 2nd time that's happened tonight. So they'll start at the 35, like we had here to open kickoff.
See if the Foxes offense can get going a little bit further out of their own end zone here. In fact, quite a bit further, as they were on the 8-yard line, I think, to start their last drive. Much better field position here, 35-yard line.
We'll see if they keep going on the ground or try to get stuff going in the air.
You see the score. You see the score updates on the ticker below. Marathon and Auburndale, I believe 15 different games going tonight on Zaleski Sports, as well as 3 last night. Mostly blowouts last night, I believe, in some of the big school matchups.
We'll start it up the middle here with number 1, Dylan Lakash. 6 carries for 12 yards, gets his first carry tonight. Stephen Baker in on the tackle with 8 total last week. Gain of 3, and it's a 2nd and 7 from the 38. Coming up on 1.5 to go here in the first quarter. It's already flown by from Omro High School here in the 77th meeting for the China Bowl Trophy. And met right away, and a big loss on the play. Lakash on the carry. And it was Gavin Adkins on the carry, or on the tackle that met him right away. Just a loss of 2, though, still inside the sticks, and it's a 3rd and 9 coming up.
On the first pass attempt for Kosobuski, there was no time. The defensive line got in the backfield before he could even look downfield. So offensive line here for Omro is going to need to step up, led by second-team All-Conference last year, Devin Allison.
Here's the 3rd and 9 for Kosobuski, the senior, for the Foxes. He sits under center. He's going to pass, looking to his left on the far side, and just missed the looking hands for number 5, Hildebrand. It'll be a 4th and 9 here.
Yeah, Hildebrand was the top target a week ago, 2 catches for 47. The second leading receiver was actually Kosobuski before he came in to be the quarterback, 2 catches for 15 yards for him. And much better protection there. Kosobuski had a shot and had his man open, but didn't make the throw. Good coverage from Winneconne, not wide open, certainly.
Yeah, just overshot his target a bit. And to kick this thing, punt this thing away for second punt tonight will be Ralph King. Gets this off cleanly in a big boot that goes behind Matthew. And this is going to be dangerous here. Picked up at the 14 and is wrapped down. We got a flag flying. Matthew's still on the run, but we'll see if it stands. Matthew with a solid return. And we're going to see what we got here. Either a horse collar tackle or a holding.
And I was going to elaborate on the advantage of having a good kicker. When you saw that big boot by Dorn on the kickoff, did go out of bounds, but having a good kicker or a good punter, so crucial in especially these types of what looks to be a low-scoring game.
And it's going to be a face mask. Our PA announcer, Dan, called it too, and I was wrong. No holding, no horse collar. It's going to be a personal foul face mask call.
And I believe it was on Matthew, and he kept going through it because the flag came out well before he was tackled.
And this is going to go down as a 36-yard return.
And now they're at midfield.
That's going to bring it up to midfield, yeah. So 1st and 10 for the 3rd drive here for Winneconne. He's set up beautifully. Those are plays you look back at in close games like we're going to have tonight.
And I got movement.
Yep.
First drive, a turnover on downs, but a long time on the field for that Omro defense. And then a second long drive. The Omro defense has been out there a long time. I know a lot of players playing both sides of the ball, but even for those defensive specialists, they're got to be tired.
False start on the Wolves, bringing back 5 yards to the 45. So it'll be a 1st and 15 from their own 45. Chase from the gun. This time gets it off smoothly. Looking to the near side, one-on-one. ISO for Quigley. He's got it. Quigley inside the 20, and he will score. Quigley's 4th touchdown of the year. Winneconne leads 13-0.
What a beautiful play. Saw it develop all. We're right on the 50-yard line here for our camera angle. The fake on the check down. Quigley gets his man to bite and then just beats him. Great throw from Chase to make it 13-0. What a one-on-one ball.
Absolutely, yeah. You said it. Saw it coming from a mile away. Ryan Quigley goes ISO and scores his 4th touchdown of the season. 55 yards for Ryan Quigley. And what will go down as his longest of the year. Andrew Dorn on for the point after touchdown. And it is good. Wolves lead 14-0 here on the Fox Valley Technical College scoreboard. We'll step aside, take a break, bring you more first quarter action when we come back. You're listening to Zaleski Sports, powered by Bear Performance Marketing.
Good evening, folks. Matt LePay here. Ridgetop Exteriors is kicking off your roof replacement like pros. Old shingles off, decking down, ice and water guard set. Textbook protection. Underlayment follows. Sealed tight like an O-line. Valleys flashed. Shingles installed row by row. Captain ventilated. The crew scoops every nail, leaving no yard marker behind. This project's wrapped. Your turn to call the play at ridgetopexteriors.com.
Welcome back to Omro High School here after a 55-yard touchdown for Ryan Quigley. 5th passing touchdown for Henry Chase. He goes one-on-one, scores for the second time for the Wolves tonight as they lead 14-0 against the Omro Foxes 20 seconds ago here in the first quarter. And you're joined by Miles Detroit and Gunnard Sippert here on Zaleski Sports.
See Dorn with his second attempt at a kickoff here. Both he and the Omro kicker sending their first one out of bounds.
Dorn 5 for 5 on PATs this season. Knocked down his fifth after Quigley scored for 55. And here he is kicking this thing off to the Foxes, who have yet to get a first down.
2 3-and-outs for the Foxes offense.
Yeah.
And got a flag here. Must have been offside.
Yeah. Left a little too early before the foot hit the ball.
So I'll back it up, I believe, 5 yards.
Okay.
Yep. Now we'll be kicking off from the 35.
And they got to re-kick this thing too. Omro can't choose to just have it. A pre-snap penalty.
For the best in keeping your home cool and comfortable, look to Riff Heating and Air Conditioning in Winneconne. Repair, replacement systems, new installs, and more. Let Riff Heating and Air Conditioning keep your home or business feeling just right. Go Winneconne Wolves from Riff Heating and AC.
Some family ties with co-head coach Nathan Riff.
And Dorn is going to be hoping that the third time's the charm here.
Oh, we got to pick up the yellow handkerchief there on the far side. Good call. I think one of the Winneconne coaches over there, I don't know if it was Coach Krings or Riff. No, one of the assistants over there. Keeping him on his toes, the official on the far side. Here's one bobbled here for Kazabuski. What a return here up to the 24-yard line. And we'll have 14 seconds here before the end of the first quarter.
Couple of 3-and-outs, couple of punts for second team all-conference punter Ralphie King. Haven't seen a completed pass yet for the Foxes. They've only thrown on third down.
Yeah, other than that, it's been all ground game here in the first down and the second down. But here's Kazabuski under center. It's the snap. They'll hand it up the gut with his man number 7, Jason Lakash. This will likely take us to the end of the first.
Winneconne linebackers or defensive linemen were in the backfield there.
Yeah.
By the time the handoff was made.
Big loss on the play. Stephen Baker again on there for a tackle for loss. He had one last week, now one here, and that will take us to the break. End of the first quarter here. We'll get you a second quarter when we come back. Wolves scoring for the first time in the first half. They're up 14-0 when we return. You're listening to Zaleski Sports.
Need a game plan that delivers marketing victories? Bear Performance Marketing is your full-service partner for strategic success. Offering comprehensive solutions that include brand development, social media marketing, branded products, and digital marketing. The goal is to streamline every aspect of marketing while maximizing results. With a focus on clear, transparent communication and a driven team ready to hustle, Bear Performance Marketing is your partner for marketing that outperforms the competition. Learn more at bearpm.com.
However and wherever you want to travel the world, Travel Leaders Discovery can help you get there. Beach vacations, family trips, cruises, romantic getaways, Disney vacations, U.S. travel and business travel. Travel Leaders Discovery, proudly helping families, couples, and businesses explore the world through all-inclusive trips of all kinds. Call them today in Green Bay, Appleton, and Sheboygan to create your memories for a lifetime.
We welcome you back to Omro High School here. A 14-0 lead for the Winneconne Wolves after the first quarter. And from the 22-yard line, it's a 2nd and 15 after the loss of 5 on first down. And we'll see if the Foxes can get their first down of the game. Kazabuski gets the snap, looking, scanning, going to the far side, but dropped on the far side. The intended receiver King.
I think it would have been caught if not for Kacher making the break up there.
Yeah. Good coverage from Kacher, the senior. He had a fumble recovery last year. No passes defended last year, or last week, pardon.
So So now 3rd and long, and I think at this point probably just worried about getting Ralphie King enough space to punt it.
Right, and you just got to pick up some momentum somehow. At least get your first down. Kind of get the pass game working. The ground game hasn't been there so far. We'll see what Kazabuski does here. Roams out to his right, looking to the far side. He's got a receiver, Basilier, on the far side. Gets within the sticks, brought down out of bounds, but just still not going to be enough for that first down. It looks to be a 4th and 6 coming up.
Looks like there's a flag on the play. Good-looking play. Just the down and distance context makes it a little bit less exciting.
Right, and hopefully that can pick up some momentum for Omro here, but good call. I didn't even see the flag.
I see the Omro players clapping. It's going to be, I think, a face mask hold on the Wolves.
Yeah, holding on Winneconne. So Omro going to try to pick up some momentum here.
First down will come on the official's marker.
Yeah. They're 5 yards away from it. It's at the 35.
Just a little bit.
They're bringing it back, but he was pointing towards Winneconne, so I wonder if he was pointing.
I think
he was
seeing
where the
start,
original line of scrimmage. Okay.
Realize that it's probably mostly locals tuning into this one, but in case you're not familiar, Omro and Winneconne separated by less than 6 miles. State Road 116. Couple of towns directly west of Oshkosh. Omro on the Fox River, that's where the Fox's name comes from, and Winneconne on Lake Butamore.
Kazabuski gives it to his guy, Jason Lakosh, roaming out to the near side, and is brought down in the backfield by number 43, Ethan Duell, who had that first touchdown in the first quarter for a tackle for loss and brings up 4th down.
Winneconne on the Wolf River, of course. That's where the Wolves name comes from. My mistake. Lake Butamore right by. 4th and 6 now. And we'll see if King is on to punt. Still pretty firmly in your own territory here.
And King is backed up here to the 17. And he's going to have his 3rd punt of the contest. Still to get a first down here in that holding call. They lined it up from the original line of scrimmage and still not able to get their first down. From the 31, Matthew going out to the far side, and it's got a really solid return down to the 45, but we've got a flag here at the 40. It's going to go against the Wolves. So this return is going to be scratched for Matthew.
Another good-looking punt from King. Certainly making the Omro's defense's job easier here.
A lot of penalties here in this first quarter and a little extra here in the second. We got a legal block in the back on the Wolves. So scratch that solid return of Matthew. Would have went for, let's see, 19 and would have been 24-yard return about for Matthew. We heard a fan say no more Ryan Quigley passes. That's a good game plan. Shut down Ryan Quigley. I like it. So Winneconne at the 44 to start it here with 10.5 to go in the second. They started on the ground with Lenz. Lenz tripped up. We'll see if he got back to the line of scrimmage. He's able to get a yard out of it. And it'll be a 2nd and 9 here coming up on 10 minutes to go. So they give Omro a ton of credit. Obviously, still shut out 14-0, but they've really done a solid job against this run game here for the Wolves to start it.
All the big damage, both touchdowns coming through the air, all the big conversions, it feels like, on 3rd down at least, have been through the air.
Yeah. Yeah, if they shut down, obviously, the two who have scored your touchdowns, Ryan Quigley and Ethan Duell, you'll be in good shape as well as Colton Kacher. Here is Kacher going to the far side. Give it to him on the jet sweep. With some room in front of him, Kacher, but then met on the far side. Great tackle there. I believe it was King. On the far side it was. For a big tackle, just a little gain on the play, and it's 3rd down.
And Omro has been able to set up these 3rd and longs, 3rd and mediums, just haven't been able to stop the Wolves from converting. We haven't seen the punt unit out there for Winneconne yet. Omro could force one here.
So it was a gain of 3, and now 3rd and 6 coming up on 9 minutes to go. We'll see if the Foxes offense can stall Winneconne for just the second time tonight. They had that 4th down turnover. See what happens here. Play action, looking to the far side. Another wide open man, but just overshot him. Ryan Quigley on the far side. And Quigley wanted that one back. I'm sure Chase did as well.
Very similar play. Didn't have the fake on the screen, on the check down, but very similar to the second touchdown of the day. And it looks like the punt unit will come out for the Wolves.
I'm sure that fan wasn't happy. That said at the beginning of the drive, don't give it to Quigley, but there he was wide open. Chase.
Pardon me, offense still out there. My mistake.
And here is Chase from the gun. Matthew to his right. Now is he going to drop back and punt this thing? Nope, going to roll out to the near side. Just a big drop back. And now he gets it off, and this is going to be scooped up by Omro at the 49. Special teams play is scooped up by number 51, Nathaniel Mills. And this is solid positioning here to start this drive for Omro.
And that's the loudest the Omro faithful has been today. I could barely hear you right next to me, Miles.
Yeah.
And that's going to go down as a turnover of some sort, either on downs or a fumble. I'm not sure which.
I'm not sure what the plan was there.
So I take it Chase is the punter as well, and they were faking like whether he was going to punt it away or attempt to throw, and they were going for the pass there.
And then I assume he just didn't see anything, and then just a late decision to boot that thing. But, yeah, really interesting play there.
Best field position of the day for the Foxes.
Yeah, they start at the Wolves 49 here. 1st and 10 with 8:45 to go in the second. Kazabuski rolls out to his right. He's got a man chasing him.
A lot of space to run, too.
Yeah, he's just going to keep it here, but met after the gain of about 6 or 7. Brought down out of bounds, but
another flag on the play.
In on the chase was Lucas White for the Wolves. We'll see what happens here with the flag back where Kazabuski was scrambling. It's going to go against the Foxes.
Experience the perfect blend of delicious food, cold drinks, and thrilling activities at WIAA's Bar and Grill. Daily specials, a full menu of great tasting options, and adjoined by an indoor archery range and sporting goods store. Enjoy this Winneconne Bar and Grill gem with the whole family. That's WIAA's Bar and Grill.
So now bring it back to the 41-yard line here.
1st down and 20.
Yeah, loss of 10 from the original spot. Now it brings Omro back from their best positioning on the opening drive and flip it to the far side with Dylan Lakosh. And it's just met behind the line. He was able to sneak it back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss of 1.
He got hit pretty hard there. You saw the Winneconne coaches on the far sideline cheering on whoever made that tackle.
Yeah, I forgot to look at the numbers. 2nd and 21 now here for Omro. Under 8 to go in the second quarter. See what the Foxes do to respond here after that penalty call, the loss of 1 there. Now a 2nd and long at 21. Kazabuski from the gun, looking. He's going to step up and take it himself, try to get some yards back. He's got just a gain of 5, trying to work his way back up to the original line of scrimmage where the best field positioning of the game. That's going to be a 3rd and 16.
You saw those 2 linebackers drop back for Winneconne. Seems like they either got redirection from their coaches or saw something at the line of scrimmage. They knew that that Kazabuski was about to drop back to pass or have a designed run of sorts. That was well scouted by the Winneconne defense.
3rd and 16, under 7 to go here in the first half. Winneconne leading the Foxes 14-0 on the Fox Valley Technical College scoreboard. Kazabuski gets the snap. Drop back and is brought down in the backfield by number 42, Brady Marks, for a sack. Mark's first sack of the contest for a huge loss. Back to the 35. And we're going to see another punt here from Omro.
And Marks was, I believe, second in tackles a week ago. He had 12 tackles, 4 by himself, as well as a fumble recovery. Only Ethan Dool had more tackles against Wrightstown.
Yeah, and Dool had 15 total, which is tied for second in D3 entering tonight.
4th and 26.
Yeah, very long 26. Brings it back 5 from their longest yards to go. Here's a punt, and boy, he does a great job of it. Ralph King gets it down to the 31. Still roaming here. Matthew with a lot of room in front of him. Matthew down the sideline. Matthew with a few to beat and gets tripped up out of bounds at the 26. A heck of a return. We'll go for 19 plus.
And it looks like that one was clean. His last return got wiped out by a flag. Didn't seem to be a lot going on that return at first. He was working his way backwards to the far side of the field and then eventually started coming towards the near side, and some great blocking for Winneconne, not giving up on that return.
43 yards, if my math is correct. Return there for Mason Matthew, the 5'6" senior, 162 pounds. Second team offense as a running back, and they're a solid return for him. Chase from the gun gives it to 23 Plots. Up the middle. With a solid gain, they've been able to kind of warm up this run game a lot more than they did in that first quarter.
Well, what a big swing of momentum that return could be. And even before that, the penalty on Omro that negated that first run, that first down 5-yard run, sets them back on their most recent drive. And now Winneconne set up nicely here with a 2nd and 5 that Omro would have had if not for that hold.
Gain of 5 for the junior Plots. Now 2nd and 5 coming up on 5 minutes to go. All 5s here right now. So Wolves break here. 2 to go to the near side, 3 on the far side. Chase all alone from the gun.
Looks like Quigley's got single coverage again at the top of the screen.
And they send Matthew in motion. Just get it to him on the jet sweep. Working his way on the far side with some room. He's got enough for the first down. And a little bit more. Are they going to give him the first down? They will. He's got a few yards extra, and the Wolves will move the chains with 4:39 to go.
Certainly the run game starting to get into rhythm here for the Wolves. They struggled last week on the yards per carry, struggled early in this one, but the more they've gone outside, the more successful they've been.
Wolves will break under 4.5 to go here in the second quarter. 14-0 score from Omro High School. Quigley again in single coverage. Chase going to take it here to the near side. 2 flags fly. And Chase going to be brought down inside the 15. I think this is going to go down as a penalty of some sort on Winneconne. Had lots of penalties here, and give the officials a ton of credit. They've been on their game just because of how great this rivalry truly is.
And we were saying that this game was flying early on. The amount of laundry on the field has certainly slowed it down.
Right. Yeah. So there'll be a hold on Winneconne.
1st and 20 now. I believe that's the longest distance that Winneconne has had today.
Yeah. So coming up.
We might have to see the pass game broken out again for Coach Riff and Coach Krings.
Yeah, you got a first down and long. It's been your best friend so far here tonight in this first half. And you've got a long 1st and 20 here from the 24. Under 4 to go here in the first half. Matthew to the right of Henry Chase. And Plots and Matthew going to now go to the right of Chase. Flip it here to Plots. Plots is going to take it and pass it here up the middle to Kacher, but just missed his hands. Would have been a nifty play, but instead it's 2nd down. So it's Lenz on that throw. I think I said Plots. Lenz on the throw. Looking for Kacher. Just missed the hands of the intended receiver. But a nifty play design there from co-head coaches Nathan Riff and Ryan Krings.
Yeah, you get Lenz coming into the backfield, and Chase had 3 running backs around him, so Omro's going to load the box, and then one of the 2 receivers got open somehow.
Doolin Kacher on the near side. Chase is looking their way. He's looking for Kacher on the near side. Incomplete. Back-to-back passing plays looking for the big 1-5. Both incomplete. And it's third down.
And that's what that penalty on first down will do. You got to take a couple shots on the early downs. And now it's 3rd and 20. A field goal from this distance for Dorn would be 42. I believe his lone field goal in last year's meeting between these 2 teams in the China Bowl game was from 30 yards. 4 for 7 on the year last year, Dorn. His longest field goal, 33. So from this distance, if Winneconne's not able to pick up any yardage, I would imagine they'd go for the field goal with a 14-0 lead, and it would set a new career record if Dorn was able to put it through. But, of course, third down coming first.
You've got an all-conference kicker. Yeah, Andrew Dorn. Why not test him here with a 14-0 lead?
Nobody in the backfield, 5 out.
4 on the far side, 1 here on the near side of Kacher.
I think we got a timeout.
Winneconne is going to use their timeout. We will take a break, step aside. 14-0, 3:33 till the end of the first half. You're listening to and watching Zaleski Sports, presented by Bear Performance Marketing.
Beer battered cheese curds now at Nasonville Dairy. Get them before they're gone in Marshfield at Weber's Farm Store, Curtis, and at the Nasonville Worldwide Headquarters on Highway 10 just west of Marshfield. Master cheesemaker Ken Hyman, tell us more about beer battered curds.
We've been acknowledged as having some of the best curd in the nation and in the world. We actually finished first in the world last year, world competition. So here we are, and we always compete well with other people. So now it's the idea of making a beer batter that could be the best in the world.
Is your business, church, or organization getting a fair deal on your copier contracts? Do you even know how much you're spending? Bauernfeind Business Technologies has been in the office technology industry for 70 years. We have an award-winning service department, and customers love our fair and flexible service contracts. If you're currently a customer, thank you. If you currently work with one of our competitors, let's talk.
Welcome you back to Omro High School here. It's a 3rd and 20 after the first Winneconne timeout. Here's the snap to Chase, looking to the far side, roams to his left, flags fly. He's got Quigley up the middle, but incomplete, just missing his hands again. We'll have to see again what this flag's going to be.
Certainly wouldn't have been enough for the first down, but would have set up Dorn for a much easier field goal. And now the penalty, we're going to redo third down. Or Omro could maybe just decline.
They did decline, so it's going to be a 4th down here. 4th and 20.
From the 24, so again, this would be a 42-yarder. Looks like the offense is still out there.
Why not? You got a comfortable 14-0 lead here. You can really kind of play around with what you want to do here before the break.
Conversely, why not try the field goal?
Right. Either one, either or.
4th and 20, you're not likely to convert. You're probably just going to take a shot at the end zone because you're only you're trying to get to the 4.
Right. Yeah, first down at the 4-yard line, but Chase is 5 yards back here in the gun. 4 receivers on the near side. Quigley all alone on the far. He's going to look for Quigley. They're going to go one-on-one. Quigley incomplete.
Good defense on the pass there.
Just overshot him, and on that defense was Ralph King. They stop Quigley on the ISO, and it's another second turnover on downs for the Wolves tonight.
Omro defense keeping them in this game. The 14-0. Couple of big plays, that one touchdown to Quigley. That's the biggest mark against the Omro defense thus far. Otherwise, it's been slow, plodding drives from Winneconne and a couple of turnovers on down.
Next Steps Prosthetics, providing prosthetic and orthotics throughout central Wisconsin. Take your next step and contact them today. So 1st and 10 with 3:20 to go here in the half. Omro going to try still to get their first down of this game.
And you could maybe double up on scores here if all goes well. Omro gets the ball first in the second half.
Right, and they started on the ground with Dylan Lakash.
Looked like no gain.
Yeah, no gain. Just gets back to the line of scrimmage, and it's 2nd and 10 coming up on 3 minutes to go. We talked about the Foxes' defense keeping them in here, but Wolves' defense have kept them shut out too. So both defenses coming to play here tonight in the first half.
Well, and should this score hold going into the half, that means in their last 2 halves of football, the Wolves defense allowing just 6 points in that second half against Wrightstown last week.
But how great does that have to feel for Winneconne, getting those 14 points after being shut out last week? Kind of a big weight off your shoulder coming into this week. Looking for the far side and just undershot him. Looking for King. We got another flag here. Probably maybe a personal foul on the quarterback Kazabuski, but we'll have to see. Lots of penalties here in the second quarter.
Final week of non-conference for Winneconne. We'll start covering Bay Conference play next week. Omro moves into their flyway slate. We'll preview some of that and who those teams are playing as we progress throughout the game here today.
So we've got a hold on Omro.
Omro in the flyway, it's an 8-team conference, so they'll be playing flyway for the rest of the season here on out.
And they've got
Winneconne will have that one crossover game with the Northeastern Conference.
They've got a really good Mayville team who is taking on Wrightstown, I think, tonight.
Defending state champions in Division 5.
Yeah, right. Ranked this week in the top 5. Here's a flip to Lakash here on the near side. That's Dylan.
And it's going to be 4th and long.
Just picks up a gain of 1 maybe. And we're going to have a timeout here for Winneconne.
So that's their second one remaining.
And we will quickly step aside. 2:20 to go towards halftime. Winneconne 14, Omro 0. Listening to and watching Zaleski Sports, powered by Bear Performance Marketing.
In 1967, Winneconne declared itself a sovereign state. Today, it's declaring something even better: fresh, baked pizza.
My name is Jordan Dunham. I am owner-operator of Sovereign State Tap House. A good atmosphere, family-friendly place, a place for friends to come, interact, and provide people with really good food.
Find us at SovereignStateTapHouse.com and on Facebook.
Welcome back to Omro High School here. We're getting close to the 2-minute warning here as we get closer to halftime, but like you said, a lot of penalty calls kind of slowed this game down, but that first quarter went through kind of a breeze, the 3 quarters of that first quarter.
And just we're talking about before the break, the flyway, it's not going to be easy this year for Omro. You got 3 teams currently ranked, a couple in Division 5 with Mayville and WLA. I think WLA on our airwaves right now against Amherst.
Yep.
And then you got another team in Division 6 in Lomira.
And King's going to punt this thing away here after the Winneconne timeout. They got 1 left here to halftime. Omro has all 3. Here's the return from Matthew.
Solid job on the return game today for Matthew.
Yeah, just about gets 7 there, but still will set up shop at the 45-yard line. Short punt from King. And solid field positioning here. And it'll be a 2-minute drive for the Wolves offense before the break.
Yeah, the flyway mostly a D5 conference. A couple of I think a 1 D4 team maybe mixed in there. North Fond du Lac might be D4. And Lomira in D6, a ranked team, winning state 2 years ago. Mayville winning D5 state last year. So it'll be a tough conference slate for Omro. This team's looking to improve, looking to get back to their second playoff berth in a row. As last year for Omro, I believe it was their first time back in the playoffs since 2022. First time under Coach Dahl.
Too many men on the field? 12 men on the field. So I was going to say, while you're talking there, I didn't see the flag, but sits right at the 50-yard line here on the near side. So scratch this return once again for Matthew. This is going to drop him back quite a bit.
Yeah, that's twice now.
Yeah.
At least. I can't even remember if there's been a third.
I believe, twice for sure. I think that's it.
1st and 10 from the 35. From the 30, rather.
Yep, 30. We'll see 2:10 to go, what the Wolves offense can do, up 14-0. Chase will start it from the gun, get it out wide here to, I believe that's, 23 Plots, who's got a solid gain of about 6 yards.
Take us to under 2 minutes.
Yep. If we are in the NFL, 2-minute warning.
I keep
Take it away.
saying whenever I watch NFL games, I hate the 2-minute warning just for the viewing experience.
Right,
It's just
you're
another trip to commercial. I kind of like in the high school game where you don't have it.
yeah, it keeps the energy up. I would agree. But how do you pay for those big boy companies, right? So you've got a 2nd and 4 after the gain of 6. Send Matthew in motion. Give it to him once again on the jet sweep. Matthew with some room to run, makes a cut upfield. Matthew with a lot of room, down, still on his feet. Matthew plowing through defenders, and Matthew's going to go to the house. Touchdown, Winneconne Wolves. Flag at midfield. Hold on.
Another broken.
Matthew's just been snubbed tonight.
Another broken play that he extends, and it seems like he's maybe just extending them. This one looks like it's going to count.
Okay.
As they're setting up for their extra point. A couple of times, though, he's extended plays so long it's set up for a penalty.
Well, it would be 64 yards if it stands.
And that's more rushing yards than he had all of last week at 42.
So Winneconne, face mask on Omro. Winneconne's going to decline. 64-yard rushing touchdown for Matthew. He doesn't get snubbed. And it's 20-0 Winneconne.
Dorn on. He was 3 for 3 last week. And he has gone 3 for 3 to start this one.
As you would expect, all-conference returner Andrew Dorn knocks down his 3rd tonight, 6th of the season. And it's 21-0 Winneconne. On now at Sherrill Tire and Auto Service, starting as low as $49 on Starfire tires, plus price match guarantee on all tire brands. When it comes to tires, look no further than Sherrill Tire and Auto Service in Stevens Point, Wisconsin Rapids, Marshfield, and Weston. Klein Ford on East Main Street in Winneconne is the perfect place to find your next new or used vehicle with service to match you with the right vehicle for your needs. Experience what car buying is supposed to feel like with Klein Ford. Real people, real value at Klein Ford in Winneconne.
And we had talked about if everything goes right for Omro going into the half, they could have scored to end the half and then get the ball. So far, since that 3-minute mark remaining in the second quarter, everything has gone haywire for the Foxes.
So we saw all of Ryan Quigley last week, but for starters, Ethan Duell with the 14-yard reception touchdown. Ryan Quigley goes for 55, and then Mason Matthew for 64. It's been one up after every touchdown here for the Wolves. 1:18 to go here for the Foxes if they want to do something.
And the penalty, the face mask, will get enforced here.
Good call.
So kicking from the 45 will be Dorn.
Boy, I thought Matthew was going to get snubbed again. He's been on the kick returns or the punt returns.
Yeah, he'll give up those punt returns. Just make the touchdown run count.
Right. Yeah. He says, I'm all right with the punt returns, but give me the 64-yard touchdown, please. So your little squib kick up the middle. No penalty on this one this time, and drops down right at the 30.
33.
And for the Foxes, 33. West handled it right at the 30. And with 1:17 to go, what do you look to see here for Omro, Gunnard?
Even if you're not able to score, just 77 seconds remaining, just trying to get some positive momentum here on offense. Find something that might work schematically that you can take into the second half.
Still no first down for Omro here. And yeah, you said it, 77 seconds. Just try to get some energy headed to the locker room, and we'll see what Kazabuski can do. Looking, and this one blocked up front. I believe getting fingers on it was Stephen Baker, who's been there with the tackles tonight. There gets a tip up front. He's been a great weapon for the defense for Winneconne tonight.
And Baker filling in on that defensive line. I mean, all the headlines on the state title run last year going to Brody Schaefer, but you had another D1 commit on that team. Hudson Samolinsky going to Illinois State. I suppose that's an FCS school, but still Division I in my eyes. First team, both defensive and offensive player lineman of the year, defensive lineman of the year. That's a big piece to lose if you're Coach Krings and Coach Riff. And Baker doing a nice job filling in.
1:13 to go here towards halftime. 2nd and 10 here for the Foxes. Kazabuski from the gun once again. Scanning, going to go to the near side, being chased by two guys, and it's just going to flip this thing away. Looking to pick it off was Damon Davis here on the near side, but it'll bring up a third down. But give credit to this Omro team. They had 5 interceptions last week, but have not turned the ball over this week. So that's kind of a bright side to look at as you enter halftime here. Sure, you've had 3 and out after 3 and out, but you haven't turned the ball over.
Certainly, yeah. Maybe a little bit more conservative than they were going pretty passing heavy. Their starting quarterback last week going 3 for 11, so plenty of attempts to start last week's game out before Kosobuski ended up going 3 for 6 down the stretch when he came in. A lot more run-oriented here, and while it hasn't worked thus far, you haven't shot yourself in the foot with any sort of turnovers, coughing the ball up.
Yeah, and consistency will pay off, too. You keep going to that, you're going to eventually find results, and I think that's what Omro's got to do in the second half. And before
timeout,
this one
Omro.
started, Omro's going to use their first timeout of the half. We'll take one more break here, hopefully, before we get to halftime. Winneconne leads Omro 21-0 on the Fox Valley Technical College scoreboard.
You're watching Zaleski Sports, presented by Bear Performance Marketing.
The quality materials that was used when the house was built were below builder grade. I wanted to do something a little exciting, add a little bit of color, a little bit of texture. The Infinity team took time to get to know us. He wanted to know what we wanted. Once he saw my design, he says, well, let's make this happen. It's a big project. Just changed the whole look of the house, and it looks like a brand new home. The Infinity team treated us like we were their family. I would recommend Infinity to anybody.
Welcome back to Omro High School. 1:04 to go towards halftime, with the Wolves leading the Foxes 21-0 on the Fox Valley Technical College scoreboard. Omro still in hunt for their first down of the night through a full half. Kozobuski scrambling. It's going to go deep. Air one out to the far side. Incomplete. I believe I think that was Hildebrand on the far side. Out of his hands, under a minute to go, and it's 4th down.
And with Winneconne having 1 timeout left, you can't even put the ball on the ground there and get the clock to run. They were just going to stop the clock anyways.
And Omro's got 2 to use, too, if they want to keep Winneconne off the board, if they get this ball back.
So, yeah, they're going to have 50-ish seconds remaining as we're at 56 remaining.
And you've gone deep all game. You had a 55-yard passing touchdown to Ryan Quigley, 64 yards on the ground with Matthew. So the possibilities are endless here with 1 timeout in the back pocket for Coach Riff and Krings.
Well, and if they can play this return clean, too, Matthew has done a great job in the punt return game.
King will boot this thing away, and he's going to fake it here on the near side, looking for their first down, but he's tripped up short of the first. Looks like just 2 yards short. But a heck of an effort from King, but it's going to go down as a turnover on downs for the Foxes.
Yeah, picked up about maybe 6 of the 10 necessary yards there. It certainly caught Winneconne by surprise, but again, even though it was a rush and he stayed in bounds, turnover on downs, that'll stop the clock. And now Winneconne is inside Omro territory with 47 seconds to go.
From the 38, 1st down and 10. Like Gunnar said, 47 seconds to play. Chase from the gun with Matthew to his right. Look to the near side. Scrambling to the far side. One chasing him, brings him down. Loose ball. Was he down first? Winneconne coach is thinking he had it. Bringing him down was Hildebrand. We'll see if it's going to go as a sack.
Recovered by Winneconne, it seems.
Okay, so they were going to count as a fumble. I thought he got down first and it was going to go as a sack for Hildebrand, but
either way, biggest defensive play of the day for Omro.
yeah, Hildebrand gets up in the jump-in lanes. Big loss on the play.
Loss of 7.
Of 7, yeah. Me too.
So now they're on the 45. If you're Winneconne, you got 1 timeout. And
Omro called that timeout.
Looks like the officials are reviewing here.
Okay, so
timeout called. Pardon me.
For officials, or did Omro call one?
Looking for clarification here in the booth.
Winneconne.
So that's their last one.
Yeah, so Winneconne out of timeouts with 28 seconds to go. Omro still with 2 if they want them. So it'll end up being a fumble recovered by the Wolves, but a big play getting up in the lanes was Jacob Hildebrand, the senior, 6'3", 195 pounds.
Interesting choice there to use your timeout, but I think it's just more of a regroup for this Winneconne offense. You want to play it clean into halftime here.
And they were getting, I think, clarification. Get what they say, 33 seconds on the board?
I believe 36.
36 seconds we're going to have here before the break.
So now no timeouts remaining. Setting up a field goal for Dorn is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
You got to get out of bounds.
Wasn't it on that? No, it wasn't. They tried to go Quigley ISO, but I was going to say on that big 4th and 20, but no, they didn't convert. That was on a 2nd down when Matthew scored. Here's Chase scrambling, looking up the gut for Quigley. Big hit, breaking it up was number 6, Kazabuski. And a big defensive play back-to-back for the Foxes, trying to get some energy before half.
Momentum firmly with the Foxes right now. They got to make one more play, force the punt, and take it to the locker room.
I mean, anything can happen. 27 seconds. You haven't done anything on offense, but 2 timeouts in your back pocket. Maybe the Foxes get this thing back and want to do something with it.
That's true, and it'll be interesting to see how Winneconne approaches this 3rd and 17. You've got a good kicker, but certainly you want to get the clock running here. You don't want an incomplete pass or to get out of bounds.
Kacher and Duel go to the near side. Matthew to the right of Chase. Play action. Chase looking. Going to the near side, waving defenders. Nearly brought down. Throw as he was getting tackled. Incomplete. Looking for Kacher. And another big defensive stop for the Foxes. It's 4th down and long.
Silver lining there for the Winneconne. Nice job by Chase to burn some clock, taking off about a quarter, 25% of what was left on the scoreboard. You got 19 seconds left now, and obviously some of that's going to be chewed up on this punt.
And Chase, he's done a great job these past 2 weeks of scrambling out of that pocket, too. We've seen really good tonight as well as last week in there. Like you said, killing some time here before the break as Winneconne's got no more timeouts.
First punt, I believe, for Winneconne.
I mean, they had that kind of muffed punt, off
a fake.
Right, a fake, but then he ended up punting it. I don't really know what to call that, but here is the punt for Andrew Dorn. The fake was taken by Henry Chase, and here's a beauty.
Nicely done. It was number 1. Was that Dorn?
Yeah, that's Dorn, yeah. Yep.
Well, last year, in addition to being Offensive Lineman of the Year, Defensive Lineman of the Year, Sam Alinsky was the punter, and I believe he was all-conference in that as well.
And
Sam Alinsky, second-team all-conference as a punter.
We've got I believe it, another flag here. Block on the back on Omro. I wish we had a penalty counter. There have been a ton in this first half here with 10 seconds to go before the break.
Certainly over 10. I think we might be closer to 20.
Yeah, definitely.
So it'll be 1st and 10 deep. I think Omro's probably just going to kneel this out, even with the 2 timeouts.
And that helps the punt from Andrew Dorn here. This thing's pinned deep at the 7-yard line here for Omro. Like you said, 10 seconds. They're not going to do anything with this. Haven't done anything on offense. No first down yet as we are at halftime.
Stay tuned at the break. Our episode of Elk Mound Hard Knocks, produced by Dan Lau of Zaleski Sports. We'll be playing that for you. Get an inside look at one of the top teams in the western part of the state.
As Kazabuski takes a kneel there, that will take us to halftime. Winneconne Wolves were shut out last week. This time the Foxes are shut out in the China Bowl Trophy, 77th game annually. And the Wolves lead the Foxes 21-0 on the Fox Valley Technical College scoreboard. You're listening to and watching Zaleski Sports, powered by Bear Performance Marketing.
Hard Knocks on Zaleski Sports is presented by Security Health Plan. SecurityHealth.org is your portal to find your plan, a doctor, prescription tools, and more. For 24/7 access and all the tools and resources needed to improve your well-being, right at your fingertips, visit SecurityHealth.org.
Linebacker.
Brady Sundin.
And just about the excitement of starting the year off. It's already August, and you guys are going to scrimmage next week. Just talk about how you're going to prepare for that and a game the following week.
Well, yeah, for the seniors, we've been preparing since 4 years ago. I mean, we've had long off seasons every year. We've been in the weight room. We've been excited all year long for this moment, and this is our senior year. All the guys below us are ready and are ready for us to stand up and be leaders this year, and I think we're going to have a good one, and the scrimmage is going to go well, and we're just going to propel us into the season this year, and I think it's going to be a good one this year.
I mean, yeah, we're all putting in that work. You know, we got a great group of seniors. It's like a brotherhood. It's not even a group. Yeah, we're all putting in the work, pretty locked in. We got a lot of high expectations.
Elk Mound enters the 2026 campaign with high hopes. They're coming off a 3-6 season, but only lost a handful of seniors. Coach David Liu and his team have plenty of returning talent.
Down there, back 7, way down there. Every D-line, right with coach. Let's go, let's go. Yes, sir.
Ready to pop out this way. Brady's got back. Wrap up. Good. Good.
Sure, wrap up.
Next group, switch sides. Switch sides. Brady, you go outside here. Okay, play it on this side.
Hey, guys, remember that pads on. Wrap up. Wrap up.
Brady. One more, Brady. There you go.
Go.
Back. Good. Hey.
Hot. Break down. Good job.
Hey, stay here and get tapped out.
Tap out your guy.
Hey, if you have a penny on, hand the penny to the person you're replacing. Please. I definitely want you to get an outside rep today. Hey, Roder, I definitely want you to get an inside rep today too at some point in time.
Early on, the Mounders familiarize themselves with their playbook and give guys reps at different spots.
Side, hot.
Hey, come on. Good.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hot.
Very good, Parker Root. Very good, Parker Root. Hey, stay where you are. Get tapped out. If you have a penny on, give that penny to this guy. They can red scout for you.
You're going to get a chance. You're going to get your time. Sometimes you got to be a little bit more patient. But it's going to happen. And when it does, be ready to excel. Excel in your role. We talked about this, about being a team. And be about good teammates. You got to sacrifice sometimes for the good. Just like your families at home. You sacrifice a little bit. All right? Really nice job. Okay, a couple announcements. Tonight.
Beginning of the season means early practices for the team and opportunities for team bonding activities as they take advantage of the time before school starts.
Start off by saying your name.
Norman Hansen.
Yeah, and you were O-line, D-line?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Talk about what you've seen from both sides of the ball on the line so far.
Well, first time I was here, when I was a freshman, everybody looked promising. You know, it was nice to be a part of the team. And as I grew with it, I could tell coaches were starting to really get the team up. Everybody was really learning like the culture of Elk Mound here. And the line has gotten much bigger now. I mean, when I was a freshman, we didn't have this many this many people in the line in a while. I mean, we have like 20, 30 guys out, and the lines are filled. I mean, it looks so much more promising.
We're expecting to be a good team, a big bond of brothers. We got a lot of people coming back, so we've been moving through stuff faster than most years, and everybody's been having a lot of camaraderie. We've been loud, hooting and hollering, all that stuff. Like, just everybody's getting along well, flying through things fast, getting the plays down, all that. But our team has been great. Everybody knows their assignments, everybody knows where they're going, and we're able to get plays down on the first time we do it and not have to make mistakes the first couple times and then finally get it. It's just been smooth through everything.
We got accelerators, and we've got punt, scout, punt, block, gonna need ya. Here we go, Marty, break them down. Marty! Scout, punt, block, rub it in. We get the hit today.
Elk Mound rounded out their second week with a scrimmage at Stanley Boyd, and they now prepare for their first game on the road at Spooner, a team they lost to by 1 point to open the season last year. The Mounders look to get some revenge and start their season on a high note.
You are our free guy, so we gotta come out so that he either has to come and get us or leave us. Don't come too far, but about 1 yard up field and 1 yard outside, and then you're coming tight to here. If he goes out, be ready to like knock a hand down, step over some stuff here. Easton starting outside, crashing down, because we want him coming down with you. We want you to be his primary concern, and you're crashing right into DJ.
Kicking and blocking work occurs, and then groups split and rotate between different drills, emphasizing blocking, tackling, and footwork.
Best one right here. Loser's got a push up. If you don't get 3 yards, you got to push up. If you get 3 yards, you got one. Hey, good one to end on, Declan. Hey, break us down, Declan. Good job, bud. We got NDD.
The last 2 weeks have been a lot of fun around here. We found out we got some really good senior leaders. The kids are really stepping up. Like I said before, we're over 60 kids in our program. We were fortunate enough to go over to Stanley Boyd, had a decent scrimmage. All of our kids got to scrimmage at the varsity JV or JV2 level. And now we're just, preparing. We're preparing for our first game, preparing for that first test of who we are going to be and what our identity is going to be. And, we keep talking about this, the little details, doing the things correctly all the time, not just some of the time, but all the time. And we've really seen a great attitude with our kids and a lot of smiles and a lot of team building. These guys do a lot of things together. We went to Wakanda Water Park last week together. They go down to the creek together. They eat together. They go golfing together. And that are the best teams when kids get together, do things as a family. So we're really, really excited to see what happens this Friday night. As far as Spooner, they have been a great opponent for us. We've played them non-conference. We played them in the playoffs, 3 overtimes during the COVID year. Just a great, well-run program up there. And I have a lot of respect for those guys, and so does our team. And we know that we're going to go up there and it's going to be a battle. They've been thinking about that. They've been preparing for it. That 1-point loss last year really hurt. But, hopefully that gave us a little bit of motivation to be better. And again, like we keep talking about, paying attention to the little details this year and have a little bit of fun up there too.
Everyone on the line, Yeah.
We're underway in Spooner. Elk Mound elects to kick, and the defense gets to work right away. Strong tackling and good coverage by Connor Mock lead to a 3-and-out from the rails. A muffed punt turns into great field position for the Mounder offense.
Hey, maximum effort right now. Right now.
Welcome back, folks, on Zaleski Sports at the half here, 21-0. Wolves leading the Foxes here from Omro. Thanks again to Dan Lau for all his work on Elk Mound Hard Knocks. Pulled you out of that video right at about the start of the game action between Elk Mound and Spooner. If you want to see the remainder of that episode, just go to the Zaleski Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you're on videos, not on live, where all the live game broadcasts are going to be. And you can follow the Elk Mound team behind the scenes all season long. Again, thank you so much to Dan. It's his third year doing Hard Knocks for Zaleski Sports. He did Spash 2 years ago. Last year, Cadott and Augusta split. And it's getting better and better as he's into his third season. Now he's doing Elk Mound. And we're back here at the half. Miles, 21-0 in favor of Winneconne.
It's been a great first half, Gunnar. I mean, Winneconne, after being shut out last week, does the opposite this week. They lead 21-0 here against the Omro Foxes. Touchdowns in the first half coming from, firstly, 14-yard receiving touchdown from Ethan Duell, 55-yard receiving touchdown from Ryan Quigley, who had 3 last week, and then the 64-yard rushing touchdown from Mason Matthey, the cherry on top, and that is how the Wolves lead 21-0. I mean, Gunnar, it's been the Wolves' offense, obviously, but give credit to the Foxes both on the offense and the defense. The defense, first for the offense, they haven't turned the ball over. Like I said, they gave it away 5 times last week. And also for the defense, they've made some pretty good stops. They've held the ground game to a fair reason, but overall it was a dominant Wolves half. And what do you think about both the Wolves and the Foxes?
Certainly, like you're saying, with Omro, they have not beaten themselves. Winneconne has made plays to beat them.
Yes.
And whether it was that deep ball over the top by Quigley, it required a really nice throw from Chase. They aren't making anything easy on the Wolves. That Matthew touchdown, it was a broken play. They could have had him a couple times, but Matthew just powered through. So far, it's been a lot of what the Wolves have done right, and not so much what the Omro has struggled to do, as the 5 turnovers last week. I think Coach Dahl a little bit more upset with how they played against Green Bay West, and especially a game that was winnable. Those 5 turnovers really come back to bite them. And I think Omro has played much better this week, and they're looking to get on the scoreboard here. A little bit of momentum going into the half, forcing that turnover on down, forcing the punt with a couple of big tackles for loss.
And I think if you're Coach Eric Dahl heading into the locker room, like you said, I think he's happy, not happy, but he's not mad at his team for that first half performance, like you said, because of how many times they turned it over last week. But I think he's okay with the first half, and I think for them, the consistency is going to help them get back into this game in the second half. You know, they haven't had a first down. That's a big theme of this one, a big storyline. They haven't gotten their first down all of that first half. And so if they continue to be consistent, I think that will lead to some good results. But
And for Winneconne, they're in the driver's seat,
right,
and they have to not beat themselves here in the second half. We're going to go over some of the scores on Zaleski Sports when we come back, but for right now, we will send it to a break. We got about 3 minutes, I believe.
I think we might be going. I don't know.
3 minutes left.
3 minutes, yeah, okay.
Clock's
All right,
about to hit zeros, but 3 more minutes.
Sorry, I thought.
You're watching Zaleski Sports, presented by Bear Performance Marketing.
At Nicolet Bank, a great rate isn't new or trendy. Our Real Rewards checking has offered 3.00% annual percentage yield since 2011, earning customers over $30 million in interest. Join your friends and neighbors in experiencing Real Rewards checking and get excited to earn 3% more. See terms and apply at nicoletbank.com. Nicolet Bank. Real people, real conversations.
I got referred to the orthodontist, and I was really nervous, but in my 2-year process, the staff was very welcoming and very kind to me. My brother also had treatment here, and he was very happy with his smile. I'd recommend Bruce Orthodontics to all my friends and family that want a beautiful smile just like us.
When I come in for my appointment, the wait is really short. All of the workers are very kind and sweet. They try to make sure that everything in my mouth is just right after my checkup, and Dr. Bruce is very nice.
I'd love the opportunity to meet you and transform your smile.
Call us to set up your free consultation today.
Welcome back to Omro High School here. We've 21-0 score, and we'll quickly get to Gunnard here for halftime scores around the state.
Yeah, especially on the Zaleski Sports Network. A big night here on Friday, but even last night we had 3 games, all in the upper divisions, I believe Division 1. Wisconsin Rapids Lincoln 35-15 over Superior. Superior had just gotten their first win in a long time coming into that one. Also last night, New Richmond coming to Stevens Point, defeating Spash 48-14, and another road win, Chippewa Falls 42-6 over Eau Claire Memorial. And then live games going on right now. These are roughly live scores. Low scoring affair, Edgar 3-0 over Stratford at home. Menasha on the road 21-7 over Mosinee. Big rivalry here, Auburndale 13-3 over Marathon. 37 points on the board for La Crosse Logan. Wausau East yet to score in that one. Another big rivalry. These teams co-op for other sports. Colby 19-7 over Abbotsford. In 8-player football, Assumption of Wisconsin Rapids Lincoln 24-8 over Thorpe. Matchup of 2 ranked teams in Division 5, Amherst 14-0 over Winnebago Lutheran Academy. Marshfield 22-6 over River Falls. Close one in Schofield. Menominee 13-9 over DC Everest. The co-op of Spencer and Columbus Catholic leading Pittsville 21-0. Waterford, a team that we will be covering all season long for our Milwaukee area crew, Matt and Elijah. 21-0 Waterford over Wauwatosa West. Loyal Greenwood 35-0 over Neilsville Granton. Kaukauna and Notre Dame Academy, a really good one up there in Green Bay. Tritons lead 28-21 at the half, and Cadott with a big lead over Stanley Boyd 32-7, and our final score down in the Madison area, well, actually more in Milwaukee, but our Verona coverage, the Verona Wildcats trailing Oconomowoc, the Raccoons on top of that one 15-7 at home.
And for here, our halftime scores, we get set for the second half. Winneconne 21, Omro 0. A shutout for the Wolves defense after their offense was shut out by the Tigers last week. We'll see what the 77th annual China Bowl Trophy matchup has in store in the second. Dorn to kick this thing away, Omro to receive the second half kickoff, and we are underway. Short one that drops at about the 32, and that'll be jumped on by the Foxes. That looks like number 8, Morales, yep.
Good field position here. It was more of a pooch kick there from Dorn. And see what Kasabuski and the offense can cook up here. What adjustments were made in the halftime break in the locker room.
Sean, our spotter, has been big props to me in our broadcast tonight, giving some valuable information all along. So big thanks to Sean here from Omro High School. First down and 10 here as we begin quarter number 3. And it'll start with a play action with Kasabuski, and he is just dropped down in the backfield for a sack.
Looks like there might have been some miscommunication there.
And Carson White in on the sack. And what a play to start it here for the Wolves defense.
Yeah, White with a big week last week against Wrightstown. 10 tackles, including a tackle for loss. He gets a sack there.
It'll go as a loss of 6. So 2nd and 16 coming up here for the Foxes offense. Still looking for their first down. Like we said, all throughout that first half. We'll see what they can do to open up the second. Snap to Kasabuski. Roman looking. Goes up the gut and broken up the chute by Duel. And it'll be a 3rd and 16 coming up, 11.5 to go. Need a game plan that delivers marketing victories? Bayer Performance Marketing is your full-service partner for strategic success. From brand development to social media marketing and promotional solutions, we streamline your marketing for maximum results. Learn more at BAERPM.com.
And we focus so much on the first down eluding the Foxes. You got to give credit to this Winneconne defense, and this is only going to help Omro as they move into flyway conference play against schools with smaller enrollments and less stout defenses. This game against Winneconne, really a test.
Kasabuski taking himself, going out to the right side, looking up the middle, and it's intercepted on the far side And that was Ethan Duell getting his hands in front of that one. We saw him break some stuff up in this drive. There he gets credited with the interception, and it's Winneconne the other way. First turnover for the Foxes offense tonight.
Duell with the first touchdown of the game early in the first half, and now he's on the score sheet on the turnover portion with the first interception of the day for Winneconne.
First turnover for the senior, 5'11", 165 pounds, Parker Kozabuski. Now the Wolves offense will take over with 11:26 from the Foxes 33. Started on the ground with Matthew. Just a little room to run. Another flag flies. We saw a handful in that first half. We get one here to start the second. Gain of 3 currently for Matthew, but we'll hang on here and see what the flag's all about. Face mask on the Foxes. We saw a few face masks in that first half, personal fouls, and we've had a ton of flags, but give credit to the officials. You got to be on. They've been on top of this game, and this big rivalry, crosstown rivals. You said it's 6 miles away from each other in the first half.
It hasn't been a conference matchup for these teams. They've been in different conferences for, I believe, the last 15 years. Last time this was a conference game was 2009. Back in the old Eastern Valley Conference.
Sean correcting us. Or Sean, I'm making sure we're on the game.
Yeah, Winneconne moving to the Bay for football before they did for other sports, but officially full Bay Conference members last year. Omro's been members of the Flyway for quite some time now.
Tackle in there by Kozabuski.
2nd and 5 from the 10. So big penalty moving them downfield there.
And that was on that personal foul face mask call on the Foxes. So we got a 2nd and 5 inside the red zone from the 10-yard line. Chase under center with 2 backs behind him. They flip it to 23 Plotz. Plotz just met at just a little after the line of scrimmage. It looks to be short of the first down.
And again, if you're just checking in, this is the 77th meeting all time.
Yep.
77th regular season. Omro won the 1 playoff game in 2015, but Winneconne, the victors of the last 6 meetings. Omro won the 7 before that, so Winneconne's trying to match that streak with a win here tonight.
And I feel like we haven't highlighted this China Bowl matchup as much in that first half, but so many just great things that bring this rivalry together that we'll highlight here in the second half. And fake it here to number 7, Lenz. He's going to take it himself into the end zone. Touchdown, Winneconne Wolves. Henry Chase does it himself. 2 in the air, 1 on the ground, and the Wolves lead 27-0.
Nice developing play there for Henry. The fake to Lenz and gets it done himself. He's been involved on 3 of the 4 touchdowns here tonight.
And that went for 10 yards.
I believe 7. It was 3rd and 2 from the 7.
Okay, yep, that's right.
Dorn on for the PAT. He's been perfect tonight.
3 for 3 this week, 3 for 3 last week, and make it 4 for 4.
It's good work if you can get it.
Andrew Dorn perfect in 2026, 7 for 7 total.
Omro needing an answer here as they head to the sidelines. Looking forward to next week for Omro. They will have North Fond du Lac as Flyaway play begins. Looking at the Flyaway scoreboard tonight, don't have any updates on these games, but just keeping you in the loop on what the other teams in the conference are up to. The 3 teams getting victories last week, Lomira, Mayville, and WLA, all those teams 1-0, all those teams ranked. North Fond du Lac falling to Green Bay West last night, the team that Omro played in D1. WLA is down by 14 to Amherst at the half, and then the other matchups this week, Campbellsport is at Kewanee, a team you're familiar with, Miles. Marquezan at Laconia, Mayville at Lake Country Lutheran in another matchup of two ranked teams. And Lomira, the number 6 team in Division 6, hosting Division 2 Milwaukee Rufus King. So quite the enrollment disparity there, and that should be a really interesting game because King, an improving team from a bigger division, and Lomira, one of the state's best in a small division.
Lake Country Lutheran played my hometown Kiel Raiders last week. They got a big win, and my Kiel Raiders in week 2 lead the Berlin Indians 30-14 in the third quarter.
I was thinking Kewanee was in the EWC. I'm mistaken. They're Packerland.
Kiel's played them, though, in a handful of sports, so I know where you're coming from, yeah. And there's 6.5 to go from Pfeiffer Field.
And then coming up next weekend, the first week of Flyway, Omro will host the Orioles of North Fond du Lac. WLA is at Mayville, another ranked matchup there in D5. It remains to be seen if they're both going to be ranked next week. WLA number 9, and if they lose to Amherst tonight, they might fall out.
And we get to go to the brand new Shawano Athletic Complex next week, Gunnard.
And then rounding
opens their bay.
Rounding out the Flyway openers next week, Laconia at St. Mary Springs and Lomira at the Campbellsport Cougars.
9:38 to go. Foxes get the ball back after the touchdown from Henry Chase. And they'll start it on the ground here with Dylan Lakash. His brother Jason actually hurt. Then I got informed by Sean that he got hurt in that first half. So TBD to come back. I don't know. We'll just have to see, but that's a big loss for them. You know, a guy who's been in the ground game with his brother Dylan, had 8 carries for 23 yards last week. So loss of 2 on that one brings up a 2nd and 12. Under 9 minutes to go here in the third. Kazabuski looking to recover after his first interception of the night. Gives it here on the near side. Once again, I believe that was Dylan Lakash. Just gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. Brings up a 3rd and 12.
And like you said, next week we'll be in Shawano covering the Winneconne Wolves football team. Upcoming Fox Valley or Fox Valley adjacent broadcasts. Next Tuesday, the 1st, Nakusa at Amherst for boys soccer. And then next Thursday, both Miles and myself will have volleyball matchups. I'll be in Kaukauna as the Galloping Ghosts play Appleton East, and you'll be here in Winneconne, right?
Yep.
As they host New London.
Yep. That'll be my first volleyball broadcast of the season. You too?
Yes. I think the season just getting underway probably next week or maybe Saturday.
Yeah. They had games this weekend. Picked off on the far side. Getting hands on it. Did he stay in bounds? Was Stilly. I'm going to say right now he's got the pick, but.
Appears so.
Yeah.
A line. It looks like they're going to set the line here right around midfield.
Intercepted by Broderick Stilly. He's one of the backups last year behind Brody Schaefer, but has been a big threat on the defense. He had 4 tackles last week. Here gets his first interception of the year. And the 5'11 junior gets the ball back. Back-to-back interceptions for Kazabuski, and is now up to 3 total on the year. So a 7:53. Winneconne gets the ball back, up 4 scores. We'll see if they can keep going here. We got 4 flags flying. We'll see who jumped first. And it'll be a false start. It'll go. Many bodies flying there, but goes as the false start on the offense. They're initially spotted at the 49, but now it'll be the 46 in their own territory, with still 7:53 on the board. Started on the ground with Matthew, who has been great tonight. Continues to do so. Matthew into the secondary. Brought down out of bounds, just a few yards short of the first. And he's got a double-digit gain there to start the drive.
And nothing's been easy for Matthew tonight. All of his runs have been sort of the slow developing kind, waiting for a hole to open, breaking a tackle. He's really taken some, if you're starting a stopwatch from when he gets the ball to goes down. He's had some really long runs.
Gain of 11 there for Matthew brings up a 2nd and 4. 7:45 to go here in the third quarter. And Chase has been phenomenal on the offensive end. Both last week and this week continues to do so here in the second half. Chase this time give it to Lenz. Lenz on the far side with some room. He's got enough for the first down, still pushing his way down to the 31-yard line and the 32. Gain of 9 moves the chains for the Wolves, and Winneconne's knocking on the door right away. Kiel now up 36-14 against Berlin. Always trying to keep eyes on it. It feels weird not broadcasting them, I'm now out of high school and
first time being a truly impartial broadcaster.
Right. Non-biased, right.
Supposed to be when you're calling for your high school, but I know how that goes.
Here's a flag, but a big run for Matthew. Matthew's going to go to the house if it stands. We've got multiple Foxes down. Right now it'd be a 32 rushing yard touchdown.
And it'll come back.
It will come back, holding on the Wolves. And you kind of just sense that one wasn't going to stand. So Matthew, this time he's snubbed. He was not snubbed for the 64-yarder, but here he's snubbed for what would have been a 32.
Amplitel Technologies boosts IT and technology for businesses in Northeast Wisconsin and beyond. From help desk support to Wi-Fi and phone solutions, trust the experts at Amplitel. Visit ampliteltech.com for a free consultation. That's ampliteltech.com.
From the 41, it's a first down and 19 here for the Wolves. And they give it on the ground to Plotz. Plotz with a good run, trying to get back within the sticks after the big holding call that erased a 32-yard potential touchdown for Matthew. Looks to be a gain of 10, and I think we got a hurt player down there on the far side.
And just wrapping up the flyway talk we had earlier, the Bound Wisconsin Conference previews, pegging Omro 7th out of 8, but Coach Dahl hoping to get his team back to the playoffs for the second year in a row. They made it last year. They were eliminated in Level 1 by Tomahawk in the D5 playoffs. Tomahawk ended up winning one more game, and then they went down in the quarterfinals. And flipping it to the other side of the Bay Conference, Winneconne projected to win the conference for the third year in a row, I believe, by Bound. The 7-team conference. Of course, you're going to have that one crossover game against Sheboygan Falls coming up later in the year.
Yeah, but 5 straight seasons that these Omro Foxes have been below 500, just trying to put themselves kind of back on the map here. And they've had 2 good non-conference games to start their season that Coach Dahl put on the schedule, and especially here tonight. Green Bay West was a solid task to start the year, but this one is well a bounce up from last week. Obviously defending state champions. You're shut out 28-0 here, 6:48 to go in the third quarter. And that is where we will resume here after the injured Winneconne Wolf on the far side. And you go play action here. Chase rolling out to the near side. He finds Quigley up the middle. Quigley's still on his feet into the secondary and brought down to the 15-yard line. Goes for 17. Ryan Quigley continues to be great.
And as you said, Winneconne, the defending state champions, they've gone undefeated in Bay Conference play the past 2 years. I was thinking about last week when you talked about their regular season opener. Last time they lost a regular season game was in 2023 when they went 7-4. Because even in 2024, their one loss, it was in Level 4 of the playoffs, the state semifinals.
Wow, yeah, 2024, they had a great year as well.
So undefeated in the regular season the past 2+ years.
And I should have checked, too, if they were shut out ever in the first half last year. And here's a run for Drew Lenz on the near side, trucking through defenders, a little juke, and he will score. Touchdown, Drew Lenz, 15 yards, and it's a 5-score lead for the Wolves.
Drew Lenz's first touchdown of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't score last week, as it was the 3 touchdown passes to Quigley. First time on the board tonight.
I said it, but then I forgot.
Dorn on for the PAT.
Yeah, he's been productive tonight. Definitely getting his steps in out there. And he's 5 for 5 on the night, 8 for 8 total on the season, and it's a 35-0 lead for the Winneconne Wolves. Travel Leaders Discovery specializes in creating personalized, unforgettable, and stress-free travel experiences for individuals, families, and groups of all sizes. Travel Leaders Discovery is a full-service agency booking beach vacations, cruises, hotel-only, and air hotel. Disney, house rentals, business travel, romantic travel, and family vacations. Anywhere you want to go, call Travel Leaders Discovery at 833-TL-TRIPS and visit www.tltrips.com.
You see on your ticker there, Menasha going up even bigger on Mosinee. First road game of the year for the Menasha Blue Jays. Of course, their home games, not truly home games this year, as Menasha will be playing on the campus of Lawrence University after that tornado tore up their usual field. Very courteous of the Lawrence Vikings to allow the Banta Bowl. And last week, I know Menasha suffered a close loss to Plymouth. I think it was 42-41, and there might have been an injury to their quarterback in that one. But certainly they look good tonight against Mosinee. As you can catch that game on Zaleski Sports as well as the replay. Just go to either Zaleski Sports or Zaleski Sports Extra. You can click on live and scroll back. Even condensed games were posted from week 1, about 20 minutes long. Convenient way to watch a game that maybe you missed.
It's a great way to see the community come together for Menasha. You know, when that big tornado hit, you know, we had Kiel utility workers come down and help them or come over and help them, and it was great to see the community rally behind Menasha, and obviously just a devastation for them when that tornado hit, and, you know, they really rallied the troops together.
I think everybody's pulling for the Blue Jays this fall,
Absolutely.
Whether it's on the gridiron or whatever sport.
I don't think you can't not.
Yeah. Even the harshest rivalry games, I think their rivals are going to understand.
We've got a badly injured Winneconne Wolf here. We are going to step aside here from Omro High School. 35-0 score, 5:46 in the third. When we return, you're listening to and watching Zaleski Sports, powered by Bear Performance Marketing.
Staub Construction builds the infrastructure that our local communities rely on every day. We're a leading Midwest contractor that specializes in water and wastewater systems, earthwork, buildings, mechanical systems, and much more. Customers choose Staub because we're safety focused, financially strong, and committed to delivering quality work on time and on budget. Our company is 100% employee owned, meaning our workers share in our success. Looking for a trusted construction partner or your next career opportunity? Staub Construction is for you.
Welcome back to Omro High School. Damon Davis sounded like maybe it was going to be a more serious injury, but gets off on his own. Great sign to see. But he hobbles off there, the 5'10 junior, 160 pounds. We'll head to the Winneconne respective sideline. We'll resume action here. Coming up on 5:40 to go here in the third quarter.
And if you're Omro, got to take care of the ball like you did in the first half. We talked about how they weren't beating themselves in the first halves. So far here in the second, not the same.
And had a solid return to get them up to the 29-yard line. Pressure here from the Wolves defense. And a good run here for the Foxes with number 1, Dylan Lakosh, getting heavy utility here with the hurt Jason Lakosh. You can see not suited up now here on the sideline, so he is ruled out here for the rest of the game. Got hurt in the first half, so you're going to see a lot of his brother Dylan get the ball here in the second half. 3-yard gain for Lakosh, 2nd and 7 from the 32. Kazabuski gets the snap, looking, hit as he throws and overshoots his intended man of Jacob Hildebrand on the far side, incomplete.
Set up 3rd and long, 3rd and 7.
I couldn't tell who. I didn't catch the number who was up applying the pressure on Kazabuski. Nevertheless, 3rd down and 7 here.
D-line has done a great job for the Wolves here tonight. You see a couple of guys subbing off there, keeping the fresh legs on here for 3rd down, bringing on a couple of substitutions.
Yeah, the defense has leveled up here another notch for the Wolves. They've forced Kazabuski into 2 picks here in the second half alone. Here he is on a 3rd down and 7. We'll see if the Foxes can get their first down. Looking far side. He's got a man, Hildebrand, but tripped up. Does he have enough for the first?
I think he's there.
And we do have a flag as well. And center official looks like it's going to be holding on Omro. So just as they're nearly close to their first down, I think this one's going to be brought back. Indeed, holding on the Foxes. It's going to scratch that. What would have been a 6-yard reception for Hildebrand if he was a yard short of the first. And with 3:20 to go, Foxes have another obstacle in their way.
It's just been one of those nights.
Yeah. I mean, although, like, before that first half, didn't turn the ball over, but now you have 2 turnovers here in this second half. You hadn't had a first down, but really your defense looked nice, but you've given up 2 quick ones here in this second half. That just can't happen if you want to stay in these games.
3rd and 17 now. Our scoreboard incorrect. And timeout. Believe it was a timeout called by Omro.
Was it?
Or
it seems. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but yeah, likely. Officials timeout. That's a good call because they went pretty quick here, and here's a big takedown in the backfield by number 40, Lucas White. He's been great on the defense tonight, and there gets another tackle for loss, and I'll say 4th down and 20. Loss of 3 for White. And once again, Ralph King going to boot this thing away, Gunnard.
4th and 20, and he's pretty far within his own end, kicking from about the 7-yard line here. Omro's going to have to make a late sub, get their 11th man on.
And we got a flag flies, so that might be why.
I think that might be a legal formation. The player was still moving as the ball was snapped.
Yeah. And Matthew with a solid return, started at the 45. Matthew still on his feet. Matthew has been great all night on the return. This one will stand. It's going to be, or who was the legal formation on? Was it
I
Omro?
believe Omro. That player subbing on late, he was moving.
Wasn't set, yeah.
Play clock must have been getting very close.
Yeah, so they had to. Didn't really have a choice to wait. And that's going to be declined. So Matthew has, let's see where this thing's spotted before we see what his return was.
Set up at the 30.
45-yard return. Started at the 35. Wait. That right?
Well, setting up shop at the 29 here.
Here's the flip here out to the near side with Matthew. Matthew, but tripped up by 2 Foxes here. One of them being Lux. Carter Lux we haven't said a name of, but he had a solid outing in week 1. I had some kick returns for 6 yards, a reception for 2 yards, 6 total tackles, 5 on his own. There he gets one here on Matthew for just the gain of 4. That's a 2nd and 6 here coming up before the 4th quarter. A statement here in the 3rd quarter. 2 scores for the Winneconne offense as they lead 35-0 big on the Omro Foxes. 1 quarter away. You're listening to and watching Zaleski Sports, powered by Bear Performance Marketing.
Want to save even more at Fleet Farm? Sign up for Fleet Rewards for exclusive offers and deals. Earn points every time you shop. 500 points gets you a $5 reward. It's free and easy to sign up, in-store or online. Plus, earn rewards even faster with the Fleet Rewards credit card. Get 4 times the points every time you use your Fleet Rewards credit card. Start shopping and start saving even more with Fleet Rewards at Fleet Farm.
From humble beginnings in 1904, the Wheatrick family has grown Grassland Dairy Products into one of the largest processors of butter in the nation. Based in Greenwood, Wisconsin, the family and its hundreds of employees continue their pursuit of providing high-quality products that can proudly be served in restaurants and homes across America.
Not a usual China Bowl trophy rivalry game. It's a 35-0 big lead here for the Winneconne Wolves as we are 1 quarter away to the finish line. And Winneconne sets up shop at the 26. Here's Chase giving it off on the far side to his man. Still trying to work to get him down. They finally do. That is to Colton Kacher.
Believe it's going to set up short, 3rd and short.
Yeah, short of the first down. Looks like about 3 yards short. And it's 3rd down here for Winneconne. But yeah, we talked about how there's been games that have kept teams out of the playoffs when this long-time rivalry. There's been snow games, you know, family ties living 6 miles apart. But tonight it is all Winneconne here with 11 minutes to go in the 4th. Here's Matthew up the gut. Matthew brought down by multiple Foxes on the far side.
It's enough for the first.
Yeah, he's got the
Clock
first down.
will keep running here, though. Despite the first down, running clock here now, aiding the Wolves.
Yep, and it must be 35 or so, and this clock is just running in the final quarter. Under 11 minutes to go. Winneconne looking to put the cherry on top. Ball placed at the 14-yard line. Chase under center. Flip it to Matthew on the near side. Matthew looking for a hole. And it's brought down by Dylan Lakash. For a little gain of, looks like 6 yards. Or excuse me, 3 yards. 6 to go. 7 to go. Close enough. We got a 2nd and 7 here. It's late. It's late night.
In the Bay Conference this week, playing last night was Wapaka, losing at Denmark 47-21. Fox Valley Lutheran, one of the teams that predicted to give the Winneconne some trouble in the Bay. They lose last night to the runners-up from a year ago, Little Chute, 40-15. The Mustangs take that one.
And Little Chute off to a hot start to start the year.
And no love lost between those two schools.
Chase play action rolling out to the right. He's got a receiver on the far side. Did he make the catch? He did. That's Ethan Duell on the far side, as he was the one who started this train of offense from scoring all around the offense. And Duell's got a gain of 4. It's 3rd and 3.
And then coming up tonight in the Bay Conference, New London is hosting Anago, Seymour at Oconto Falls, Shawano hosting Lakeland, and Xavier playing Division IV number 1, the Freedom Irish.
Freedom also off to a hot start as well. Chase with Lenz to his left. Chase going to roll to his left. He's got a receiver of Plotz. Plotz looking to push his way in, and he is in. Touchdown, Winneconne Wolves. Camden Plotz for 7 yards.
Starting to vary up the cast here on the score sheet in the second half.
All around.
Lenz gets his first, and now Plotz with his.
Seven yards for number 23, junior Camden Plotz. Yeah, the scoring all around. It's tough for us, Gunner. Who's going to be our player of the game? Yeah, everyone's scoring. I mean, can we get them all in?
I'll give it to someone on the defense. They haven't given up a point yet.
Yeah, true. But, I mean, this offense putting up 42 points now with the 6-point after touchdown try from Andrew Dorn, up and away and good. It is a 42-0 score. And we will get to our final ad read of the night. Travel Leaders Discovery specializes in creating personalized, unforgettable, and stress-free travel experiences for individuals, families, and groups of all sizes. Travel Leaders Discovery is a full-service agency booking beach vacations, cruises, hotel-only and air hotel, Disney, house rentals, business travel, romantic travel, and family vacations anywhere you want to go. Call Travel Leaders Discovery at 833-TL-TRIPS and visit www.tltrips.com.
Looking ahead to next week for the Bay Conference. Week 3 on Zaleski Sports, we will have Winneconne at Shawano. And then the other matchups next week, a big one in Appleton, Seymour at Fox Valley Lutheran. Those teams projected to finish right behind Winneconne by Bound, Wisconsin. Fox Valley Lutheran predicted second. Seymour predicted third. The crossover game for next week will be New London at Freedom, so another matchup between a Bay Conference opponent and the Irish. This time it'll count for conference standings. This week's game, Xavier versus Freedom, that will be a non-conference game. And our final game next week, Xavier at Wapaka. The Comets 0-2. Xavier looking to pull off the upset tonight against Freedom to avoid going 0-2, but it could be a matchup of a couple of teams yet to record their first win in Wapaka next Friday night.
Andrew Dorn for the 6th time going to give this thing back after a touchdown. Back to the Omro Foxes, who's still looking for their first score, their first down. But it is just all Winneconne here in the 77th meeting in the regular season for the China Bowl Trophy. Longtime rivals these two are, and stinks that we didn't get to see kind of a closer game here tonight, Gunnard.
Yeah, I don't think the Winneconne fans will say that. They're happy with how this game played out. It'll be, barring a miraculous comeback here, it'll be the 7th win in a row for the Wolves, matching the streak that the Foxes had from 2011 to 2018. Don't know if that's the longest streak all time, as far as my research found. And for the Wolves, it'll be 7 in a row, as well as they've won 13 of the past 22 and 11 of the past 20. So you can tack one on to each of those. Another penalty on the kickoff there.
Yeah, and just something you don't need here for this Omro team. 8:19 to go. Winneconne is going to use a timeout. We will step aside, take a break. 42-0 score, 8:19 to the finish line. You're listening to and watching Zaleski Sports, presented by Bear Performance Marketing.
Cobuson Bus is hiring. It's drivers that they need. Cobuson Bus is hiring. It's the perfect job for me.
Cobuson Buses would like to thank all of our school bus drivers throughout the state of Wisconsin for their safe driving. If you would like to make a difference in your community with a fun and rewarding part-time job, apply at cobuson.com.
Cobuson Bus is hiring. It's the perfect job for me.
Is your business, church, or organization getting a fair deal on your copier contracts? Do you even know how much you're spending? Fine Business Technologies has been in the office technology industry for 70 years. We have an award-winning service department, and customers love our fair and flexible service contracts. If you're currently a customer, thank you. If you currently work with one of our competitors, let's talk. We can tell you if you're overpaying or getting a good deal. BBT, we want to be the easiest vendor you work with. b-bt.com.
Make sure to stay tuned for our Sovereign State Tap House post-game show with our player of the game here. Likely going to be coming from the Winneconne Wolves as they lead 42-0, 8:19 to go after Winneconne uses their first timeout. Get reset on defense. It's going to be 8:31. We were getting some clarification up here in the booth.
1st and 10 from looks like the 5-yard line.
And remember that hold that brought them back here. They're spotted at the 20.
20 on the scoreboard. I don't think they're at the 20.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Big run here for Kasabuski.
Yeah, and they got their first down with 8:18 to go. Kasabuski with a big gain gets the Foxes their first down, moves the chains for the first time tonight, and it's 1st and 10.
And now for Omro, it's all about building momentum into next week's game against North Fond du Lac.
Yeah.
Last year, Omro won 3 of their first 4 games. They went 1-1 in the non-conference. They lost to Winneconne, beat Green Bay West, and then they beat North Fond du Lac and Laconia. They opened 2-0 in flyaway play, ended up dropping their last 5. Were awarded a playoff berth in Division 5, but dropped that one to Tomahawk. So last year's early season for Omro went quite well. This year, looking like they're going to open 0-2 and have to build up from behind.
Kazabuski gives it to his man here on the near side, Penza. That could be possibly his first carry tonight. Penza, 4 carries, -1 yard. Minus the yard last week.
He was the starting quarterback, I believe, that Kazabuski replaced.
Yes.
And now getting involved in the running game. Another first down.
Penza with 4 picks last week, 3 for 14 in the air. There gets his first carry of the night, I believe. And under 7 minutes to go, another first down for the Foxes. And it's a 1st and 10 from the 34. Back-to-back first downs after not having won the entirety of the game. And Kazabuski runs into his own man of Penza. Penza just able to sneak out a yard out of it. Maybe 2. It'll be a 2nd down coming up.
I believe some valuable varsity experience for some reserves here on the Winneconne defense. Getting to get some plays on varsity here after likely playing some JV last night, and in last week's game against Wrightstown, no opportunity for that. It was down to the final play.
Easton Schrader, the 6 foot, 255-pound sophomore, comes in. No stats from last week or likely tonight. And here's the 2nd and 9 for the Foxes offense. Under 6 to play, and this one just able to hang on to it was Penza.
Recovered nicely.
And Penza's going to get some nice gain out of it. Just a couple of yards. The student section likes to hear it, likes to see it. It's like gain of about 3. Gain of 2, and it's a 3rd and 7 for Omro coming up. Again, the Wolves will take on Shawano next week. We will have that game on for Zaleski Sports.
No other Bay Conference coverage next week. Fox Valley games for next Friday. We will have Kaukauna at Kimberly. Kaukauna starting the season with 3 road games against West Alice Hale and now Notre Dame and then Kimberly.
Kazabuski going to go long here. Intercepted on the near side. Leaping up and grabbing it was number 10, Broderick Stilley. And another takeaway, 3rd interception for the Foxes. And the Wolves take over at their own 34.
I believe he had the 2nd interception. It was that one on the 50-yard line on the far side that we couldn't really see. So 2 for Stilley. The Bound Wisconsin preview had him as the potential heir to the throne at quarterback after Schaefer leaves. Not playing quarterback this year, but certainly making an impact on the defensive side of the ball.
And how great Henry Chase has been. I mean, why not just keep this guy at quarterback? I mean, tonight he's been distributing the ball incredibly.
Similar situation, honestly, at Kaukauna last week. They got a transfer from Fond du Lac, DeAndre Williamson Jr.
Yeah.
They said, we're going to stick with our guy, Ryan Carroll, who started last year. DeAndre is going to play safety and do a good job of it, as very athletic in the secondary for the Galloping Ghost defense.
So Chase, who's been the man all night, starts it on the ground up the middle with, I believe, Matthew.
Wouldn't be surprised to see some.
No, 21, new runner, as you said.
Touches,
and that would be Bryson Wager for the Wolves. Going to be, I think, his first carry of the season there for the young buck. Sophomore, 5'10", 155-pound running back for Winneconne. Clock continues to run here. We are inside 3.5 minutes.
Should have gotten a JV score from what these teams met up last night. I know Winneconne's JV went undefeated a year ago, and that's big part of the reason why this team is doing so well this year.
And still he's going to be in at quarterback now. He rewards himself, gets a pick, and here he delivers a nice passing play to number 5, Stephen Baker. And he is at the 48, gain of 13. Omro doesn't, right? No JV. No. Omro, I think, does. They were just short numbers because we were talking to Coach Eric Dahl, and he said they have a JV, but just barely. They're pretty short numbers.
So maybe no meeting last night.
Yeah, I think he said even last night that they didn't have any backup linemen. Maybe it was last night, or that they're sending this coming week. Could be next Monday, possibly, that they're playing on it. Doesn't JV, they play Monday usually, maybe?
I thought JV usually Thursday, maybe freshmen earlier in the week. Timeout used by Omro there.
Yep.
They're first.
First of the half. So both teams have 2 remaining here. We'll keep it here. And I remember I read Travel Leaders Discovery twice, but we want to thank Amplitel Technologies, Bear Performance Marketing, Klein Ford, Sherrill Tire and Auto Service, Next Steps Prosthetics, Wood Eyes Bar and Grill, Riff Heating and Air Conditioning, Mutual of Wausau, Bear Performance Marketing, and it'll be our post-game show, Sovereign State Tap House.
Thank you all for tuning in here tonight. We will be live next Friday for Winneconne football from Shawano Community High School as the Wolves take on the Hawks. And then before that, Miles will be live on Thursday for our first volleyball broadcast of the season between Winneconne and New London in conference play. New London, a member of the Bay Conference. Oh, for both football and volleyball, I'm mistaken.
And we had some girls volleyball this past Tuesday, too, I forgot about.
Yes.
Triangular.
First Fox Valley coverage, but yeah, Dan Lau had those games in Cadott.
Yep. So pretty much all sports kind of into full swing now.
Yeah, you can even, there'll occasionally be videos for games that we didn't even have live coverage of. I believe there was highlights of Hudson and Eau Claire North. Didn't have a live stream for that, but highlights up on the channel. 2nd and 9 here from about midfield.
Like we said, if we were the NFL, we'd hit the 2-minute warning here. The thing Gunner doesn't like.
Yeah, not really.
But it is a 2nd and 9 here with 1:50 to go. Stilley leading the pack here. Play action, keeping himself here on the near side. Stilley with some room and leaping out here. Lost the football, was down first. Down to the 42-yard line.
Set up 3rd and 2.
It's a gain of 9, and it's a 3rd and 2.
And still, he's done a nice job here coming in for this one series at the end of the game. Not going to get a ton of work at quarterback, but good to stay fresh if for some reason he's needed.
Gain of 7, 3rd and 2. Coming up on a minute to play here towards the finish line. Winneconne going to win their 16th straight after winning 14 last year, 2 this week with a big win last week against Wrightstown. Still not getting over that game and just the atmosphere that was there and the crowd.
And I'll have to go over it, but I think in terms of regular season winning streak, they've got to be at nearly 30 in a row. Haven't lost a regular season game since 2023, late in the year.
We're going to have a 4th down and 2 here after the kneel from Stilley. Let's see if this will take us to the wire, and I think it likely will. With no delay of games, no timeouts used. And again, stay tuned for our Sovereign State Tap House post-game show with the winning head coach Ryan Krings and our Sovereign State Tap House player of the game. And with 7 seconds to go, Stilley takes one last snap of the night, and that will do it. A Week 2 statement for the Winneconne Wolves, taking down the Omro Foxes in the 77th Annual China Bowl Trophy. They write their name down in 2026, and they pick up yet another win here to end Week 2. They move to 44 wins now overall, all-time against the Omro Foxes. And they lead the series now for quite a few years, having Omro's back. And we will step aside, take a break. Today's postgame show brought to you by Sovereign State Tap House in Winneconne with the best atmosphere to catch the next big game. Stop in at Sovereign State Tap House. We'll be with winning head coach Ryan Krings and our Sovereign State Tap House player of the game when we come back You're listening to and watching Zaleski Sports, powered by Bear Performance Marketing.
Welcome back, folks, on the Sovereign State Tap House postgame. Miles will be headed down to talk to Coach Krings, and I believe it's going to be Henry Chase, if we can get him, as our player of the game. This is Gunnar Sippert with you from the booth. And we'll talk to our Highlight House player of the game, Sovereign State Tap House player of the game. Winneconne with a resounding win, and we will have the presentation of the China Bowl trophy here, I believe. Winneconne captains coming out to center, to midfield. As the final in this one, Winneconne putting up 21 points in both halves. A resounding statement win. Athletic director for Winneconne is out there, Tyler Lee. Handshakes at midfield and the red China Bowl. And I believe the coaches will likely meet with their players following this presentation, and then Miles will be able to talk to Coach Kring. So we might be waiting for a little bit here, but we thank you for tuning in and staying tuned here on the Sovereign State Tap House post-game show. Good show of sportsmanship between these long, storied rivals. Winneconne now leading the all-time series 44-32-1. Omro with the one victory in the postseason. Pardon me on the camera work there, missing the highlight, presenting the trophy. My bad. Congratulations to Coach Riff, Coach Krings, and the Winneconne Wolves football team starting the season 2-0 in non-conference play. And again, we will have the start of Bay Conference play next Friday from Shawano High School. Second road game in a row for Winneconne before, I believe, returning home in week 4. 1-0 at home now, 1-1 on the road. And they have won the last 7 China Bowl trophy games in a row. Winneconne looking to make it back to the playoffs as well this season for the 10th year in a row. Coach Riff starting with the team in 2017, and they have made the playoffs every single season under his leadership, according to my research at least. Trying to pick out Miles out of the crowd here. Oh, I see him over there. Okay. Just making sure I can hear his mic. Again, thank you so much for tuning in here tonight and to any of our Zaleski Sports coverage for football Friday nights or Thursday night, or perhaps you tuned in for soccer and volleyball earlier this week. We'll have some more coverage coming up next week, including the start of the volleyball broadcast schedule in full. Miles looking to corral one of the coaches here. Just going to pull up that upcoming schedule for you. As Winneconne wraps up their post-game meeting here. Coming up next week, we've got volleyball and boys soccer on Tuesday. Volleyball, Abbotsford at Pacelli, Newman Catholic at Wausau West, Wisconsin Rapids at Auburndale, and Edgar at Neelsville on the pitch. Boys soccer, Nakusa at Amherst, DC Everest at Spash, and a big conference matchup there in the WVC, and Wausau East at Marshfield. Eau Claire Memorial at Chippewa Falls as well. I see Miles has corralled a coach, and I will give him the thumbs up whenever he is ready. This has been Gunnar Sippert signing off.
Alrighty, we are here with winning head coach here in week 2, co-head coach Ryan Krings. Coach, great win again for you guys. A little different than last week, a little tighter game last week, but just from the start, you guys had a mission, you got it done. You had to play a physical game. You told me walking here, dealing with some cramps. How'd you get it done here tonight?
Well, we always know coming into the China Bowl game that it's going to be one of our toughest games of the year, whether the score shows it or not. Both teams are going to come to play, and we had to get on top first and kind of control the game, and we did it in the first half and then continued in the second with what we had to do.
Absolutely, and we talked about last week, just the sorts of weapons you can get to. Tonight really proved it. A guy's scoring all around. Ethan Duell, Ryan Quigley, Mason Matthew, Henry Chase, Drew Lenz, Camden Plotz, all sorts of different guys getting on the board for a total of 6 scores. What goes to show, on the offense, but also the defense getting a shutout. What are you most proud of tonight, whether the offense or the defense?
We actually made some changes on our D this week, not anything major. Broderick Stilley stepped in at free safety for us, had 2 great interceptions tonight that helped us stop some drives. So altogether, I think our defense, especially when they needed to step up, stepped up. Offense does what they do, and we saw it last week and we saw it again this week. So I think our defense coming to play this game. Ethan Duell had a great interception, so all in all, that was what we needed, was the defense to do what they did.
You think last week's big 4th and goal stop kind of carried into this week with the shutout?
It actually gave us a little bit of inspiration last week. We weren't sure we were going to be able to stop that entire drive. They ran it down on us, and then when the guys needed to step up on 4th and 1, they did, and they carried it through into this week. So yeah, I think our defense is working the direction we want them to go right now.
All right, you look at Shawano next week. What are you working on this week in practice? What do you take out of this week and apply it in week 3 and get the win?
Well, it's going to be Shawano's. I believe it's going to be their first first conference game on their new field, going into turf there. So we're going to get ready. They have a tough running back, also plays linebacker for them. So we're going to figure out how we can stop that run. They do have a good Heiding's a good wide receiver for them, number 1. So we're going to have to concentrate on him too. So taking what we learned from the last 2 weeks, we're going to build a little bit on it and take it into Shawano.
Absolutely. Thanks, Coach. Congrats on the win. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
We'll try to get Henry Chase here in a minute, our Sovereign Tap House player of the game. Here he is. Henry Chase, our Sovereign Tap House player of the game. Henry kind of just leading the troops, all 6 different scores tonight. You were leading the way behind quarterback most of the way before Broderick came in for you in the end there. But overall, what just excites you most about this offense and for weeks to come here in this season?
Well, we had a good week of practice. Practice has been really good. Running a lot of new stuff, coming into a new offense. It takes a lot of time, but, we're figuring it out. It's looking good, so.
Yeah, and in your defense, too, talk outside your offense, putting up a shutout last week, getting that huge stop, 4th and goal inside the 1, kind of carrying that into today. I talked to your coach, gave you guys some confidence, gave your defense some confidence. You played a physical game here tonight. What does it mean to win this big rivalry matchup here in the China Bowl?
It means a lot. I mean, defense, huge part, obviously shutout. They huge part of this game. Yeah.
Yeah, and I talked to your coach next week, big Shawano game. What things you have to take from these last 2 weeks, apply it to week 3 and keep this winning streak going?
No more stupid plays, no more penalties, be smart, play physical, play strong, play hard all the way through.
And so I talked about 6 different scores: Ethan Duell, Ryan Quigley, Mason Matthew, yourself with that 7-yard rushing TD, Drew Lenz, Camden Plotz, all sorts of guys just getting on the board. What do you see next week that you want to carry in from scoring this week to apply to there in week 3?
Everybody can do anything. Anyone's got a chance. Everybody can play. So I'm really looking for anyone who's open, anyone who's willing to play, and I trust everyone in this team.
All right, one last thing we're going to do. I'm going to give you this. You want to look up at that camera up there. You're going to say, I'm Henry Chase, and I'm in the house. I'll give you a 3-second countdown. Look up there. 3. Can you hold the mic close?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
I'm Henry Chase, and I'm in the house.
There you go. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah,
Good luck
thank
next
you.
week. And that was Henry Chase, our player of the game. Last week, I forgot on Tuesday to get our player of the game last week for soccer from New London, or Spash, excuse me. So there you are with the player of the game, Henry Chase, leading the troops here tonight. 6 different scores, and Winneconne puts up a statement win tonight, 42-0 here in the 77th annual China Bowl Trophy matchup. They take home the silverware. They put another year on their resume, and they have Omro's back once again here tonight. Winneconne with their 16th straight win. They're looking hot heading into week 3 to take on Shawano for Shawano's first conference game on their new stadium. We'll have you covered on Zaleski Sports all next week, but for me and Gunnar, we'll be at Shawano covering the Wolves once again in week 3. But for here, phenomenal game for the 77th annual China Bowl Trophy game. The Winneconne Wolves 42. The Omro Foxes 0. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next week on Zaleski Sports.